name is Trip Starlick, and I welcome you back to the Starlick Observatory for another One Piece Straw Hat Reader discussion. Woo! We read, actually, right? We actually read less than we normally do, so I feel like I read in a very comfortable amount of time this time, but there's still a ton to discuss. And this time, we have another friend with us to also talk about One Piece. So we have Dr. Toto Hex, Paper Dawn, Realm, and Leah. And I'll have them all introduce themselves. You all know me. I am a slug. Hi. Whoever wants to go first, feel free.
Hello, everyone. It's Dr. Toto Hex, the smartest science turtle in your Oceanonatron. I don't know why my PNG keeps twitching, but it'll be like that probably for the whole stream. Yeah,
Talking at super
I like
sound
elephants. Speed. The elephant is good.
Yeah. Who's next?
You.
Me. Okay.
Yes,
I'm Paper Dawn. I made art for the stream.
Yeah. Channel artist. Woo-woo.
Still
Artist
cosplaying as
extraordinaire.
Sugar, I see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She's pretty not in this art like the rest of Dressrosa, but that's fine.
Yeah, she kind of passed out and died.
But you introduced the princess, so that was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Hi, my name is Realm, Professor, Guide at the Stars, local Goda art enjoyer. I'm just eating up all of this fantastic cover art for every chapter, so happy to be back.
Yeah.
And I'm Leah. I've technically been here since the beginning, but I'm the ghost member / librarian who made like a funny haha guide at the beginning and then promptly went off to grad school.
It's good. It's okay.
Hi. I'm
Hello.
halfway through grad school and I read One Piece like 2 years ago. So, I was like way ahead of you guys with this arc and stuff, or however long ago it came out. So,
A million years ago.
a million years ago. Sure.
Give or take a few years,
Yeah.
What's a millennia or two?
Ghost
Yeah,
life.
especially in One Piece years.
I think it was like 2015 this arc ended.
Yeah.
Don't say
Yeah.
that. Don't say that. It make me feel old. I've been reading this like week by week for so many years now.
I remember
Yeah, a lot of
seeing
my
Gear
friends are
4
like
for
that.
the first time in high school.
Yeah. Oh my
Oh
gosh.
my
I
god.
remember catching up with the anime when it was on the Fishman Island arc.
Wow.
Man.
Also, Toto, thank you very much for gifting a slugling sub to Paper Dawn.
Yeah, thank you.
So now Paper
Yeah.
Dawn can use their own art.
Yeah.
We love that.
Yeah. So we last stopped at like I don't know if it's like actually halfway through, but felt like halfway through Dressrosa. We ended on Law's, like right after Law's backstory ended.
Oh,
Um,
Law,
Yeah.
baby.
Leah, since you weren't here last time, do you have anything to say about Law?
The first time after reading Law's like arc, I went to a convention where there was a cosplayer dressed up as Corazon and Law together, and I literally started crying like
Oh
in
my
the con
God.
hall
Ah,
because they were such good cosplayers, and I was literally like still broke. I was still like so sore
Yeah,
emotionally.
yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
so I love Law. Every time he shows up, he's like one of my favorite like side characters. He's like probably my favorite of the worst generation.
He's my favorite Tumblr sexy man.
Yeah.
I usually don't like Tumblr sexy men, but I like Law.
He's like my favorite tired Tumblr sexy man.
Yeah, he's just so done with everything all the time.
Yep,
It's
very
good.
relatable,
It's such a good foil to Luffy.
especially because he's surrounded by like all these what feels like hyperactive children.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he's literally just like, ugh, and I'm like, same type.
I think we described him as like the anime protagonist from a different anime.
Yeah, he's from like a
he's
drama
like-
show. It can't
Oh,
be
Yeah.
yeah. One of those like thriller, like suspense. Like he's just seen so
Yeah.
much crap, and then he gets dropped in here, and he's like, oh, what?
Oh, what?
Yeah, like this is not how things work.
Absolutely. Oh gosh.
But yeah, so you guys finished Dressrosa, and then
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
talk about this end of Dressrosa. So we have Law fighting Doflamingo while Luffy's downstairs below fighting
Bellamy.
Bellamy. I want to apologize
Oh,
publicly
Bellamy.
that I kind of spoiled some stuff in the
Oh,
last
it's okay. I like didn't even realize you spoiled anything.
because I was confused as to how much we'd read and I was confused as the order of events,
That's okay.
But yeah, what did you guys think of this Bellamy fight?
760. That's what chapter I need to go to. I thought it was
It's
real...
this. I have to look at the chat. It was like earlier this month.
Yeah.
no, it's okay. I totally forgot
Yeah,
that
yeah,
when he was
yeah,
in this arc.
Yeah, so honestly, the fight with Bellamy, I guess also with Law is interesting. Like, I expected Law to just, like, cut up parts of the building, and that's exactly what he did. So I guess that's good, but he, like, can't really get a grip on Doflamingo, no matter what. And meanwhile, Luffy's like, I really don't want to fight Bellamy, but Bellamy has just kind of accepted his fate, which I don't know how I feel about that. I kind of
One
feel
Piece
like,
and accepting your fate feels like really anachronistic.
yeah.
It's very like sunk cost fallacy.
Yeah,
you
sunk
know?
cost, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just feels like, man, Luffy is never going to agree with you because he's like the paragon of freedom. So,
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I thought it was so sad with him realizing that Doflamingo has been abusing him for so long,
Yeah,
and kind
that's
of being
true.
like, I should have been following you. You were the man. I should have followed.
Yeah.
And at least this way, I get taken out by the only other man I've ever respected.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
he
it's a
gets taken out
callback
the
to
same way.
Jaya. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. That
He
was
beats him the
sad.
same way.
Yeah. And I guess I thought that was good because my impression of Bellamy and Jaya is that he didn't care about Luffy, so to see him have that whole character growth in the background is kind of nice, actually.
Yeah.
A pretty cool thing of Oda to do, where it's like that original Bellamy scene is one of the most satisfying moments in the series, and now this is like one of the most like dissatisfying moments in the series. Just like you
Yeah.
just do not want to see that happen, and it happens, and you're like, oh.
How does an author come up with this stuff? That's so genius.
Yeah.
And they made
Like,
me care about this
definitely
asshole
knew.
that I didn't care about back in Jaya. What the hell?
Yeah.
I
He
love
definitely
when
knew that was
they
like
do that though.
a moment.
What'd you say,
I
Leah?
love when like one-note assholes become like characters that like become more
Yeah.
well-rounded, and you're like, damn, I didn't want to like you, but
Yeah.
Right? That's a lot
Yeah,
of fun.
it was
especially
an
after so
extra.
many years of not
Yeah,
liking him.
it was so much. It gave so much more dimension than the stereotypical shonen. I beat you up. Now you're my best friend, and you join the good guys type of trope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So much more satisfying.
It's a nice thing about Oda that almost because it's been such a long-running series, and he's willing to bring back these like characters that you thought were going to be one note, like one and done,
Yeah.
and like not even always just give him another chance, but just kind of bring him back. And it shows that he's not like a lot of other shonens that you read where they just keep bringing in new characters, even for little things. He's like, nah, let me just go rummage around in the old bin and see who's still there.
It's not just manga. It's not like a lot of other series in general that like
It's true.
every single side character has their own motivations and lives going on in the background. So
Yeah,
I don't
it was.
see.
I thought, like I said at the last stream, but it was really genius. The one line that Bellamy said that made me like go like, "Oh, Oda, you're so." He was like, he told Luffy, he's like, "Oh yeah, that Sky Island, I actually went there too."
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
my god, I'm like, oh, they made me like him. No, I had to do that so
And I
bad.
think that goes with like why he was still fighting for Doflamingo in the end, because before, when he was on Jaya, he was a pirate who didn't believe in dreams. And then now we see it was his dream to always be part of this like Don Quixote family. So he's like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna like see this like dream to the end, even though I know it's
Yeah.
wrong now.
It's a weird situation for him to be in. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's also a great way to bring in Luffy's like engagement into this fight, because otherwise like Luffy hasn't really been super directly engaged. It's mainly been Law's story here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that's
there was
kind
like
of
the
like a
stuff
thing
with
Luffy
Rebecca
does.
too, but Rebecca hasn't really done much this arc.
No,
I
Rebecca's
don't
just
talk about
there.
I know that's
Yeah.
still one of my big problems. Like I wish Rebecca had like done something.
Yeah, it does feel like she takes a backseat a lot for
Yeah.
like
For
what a
the second
prominent
part.
entrance that she had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. While Bellamy is fighting Luffy. I don't know, I can't think of Luffy. Zoro is trying to take down Pika, and he's kind of having a hard time doing it, but he ends up working with like all of those pirates that were in like the stadium. or the
He works
gladiator
with
thing.
Orlumbus.
Yeah, he works with all of them to like get rid of the stupid wall man.
Yeah.
Oh.
So apparently Russian fans love Orlumbus because later on there's a cover story of just like Orlumbus's day. And each cover story is just like him waking up, folding his clothes, making his bed.
Oh.
like this really normal guy.
It's very wholesome, yeah.
It's very wholesome.
I
But yeah, he's like, are you sure you want me to like throw you? Because this technique is not really meant for the safety of the person being thrown.
He's like, yeah. Because he's Zoro.
Yeah.
And they defeat the Pika wall dude together.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Baby 5 is trying to like marry this man
Oh
who
my
I don't
God,
really
Baby
remember
Five.
his name.
I do
Baby
want to
Five,
say,
what a
I love
tad.
Baby 5, but I want to say really quick, because I think I commented this when we saw the like live action trailer.
Mhm.
Zoro says like, in the live action, he's like, real fighters don't call out their finishing moves.
I was like,
Oh,
wait,
yeah.
that's all Zoro
And-
does.
Yeah, in this one, he's all like 9 mountains and 8 seas.
Yes.
Or one
Okay.
small Kiliocosm.
Yeah.
3,000 world Trikiliocosm cut or
When was
something.
the last time Zoro didn't announce a move?
Like
I was gonna say he's
Never.
always done that.
Never.
never.
Our extra little man.
I know.
I guess it'll be more satisfying in the live action when he finally does, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh yes,
He better say
Yeah.
like the longest name ever.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I do like.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, and I was just gonna keep going with what we're talking about. Bartolomeo kind of had a cool scene around this time too.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Bartolomeo was also like crying when he saw like Zoro just cut this giant wall man in half.
Yeah.
He's funny.
Yeah.
Every time Bartolomeo's on the screen, I'm just like, he's just like me, for real, for real.
Which
That
is
is
again
exactly
so
what I
crazy
would be
because like
doing.
he seems like such an asshole when you first see him in this arc.
Oh,
But
no.
then
And
you're
then
like,
he's just
I
a
love
huge
him.
simp.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's just if you're right. It's true. Yeah, he like helps protect Robin as she's going up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's pretty cool of him. And
Mhm.
even like, I feel like Robin, this entire like not the entire time, but a lot of the time, she's just like, okay, that's cool. Like she's just so level-headed for whatever's
Mhm,
happening.
mhm.
But she's actually concerned.
Robin's always chill.
She was
Yeah.
a little concerned about him at least.
So, like, what was your
Yeah.
favorite of like these big, like arc fight, the big fights of the arc? Like, there's Zoro Pika. There's. I mean, I don't know if you would call Luffy Bellamy like the big fight because there's what comes later with
Yeah.
him and
Mhm.
Doflamingo, but like Trafalgar Law and Doflamingo
I
and
think my favorite part. I'll talk about it in a little bit because we usually just
Yeah.
go in like order.
Usopp.
We just go in order, yeah.
Yeah.
I think next
You
we're
stop
gonna talk
playing
about
us
like
first.
Baby 5, right?
Oh, okay. Was that the next one?
Yeah, but I will tell you for sure.
I love Baby 5, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember hardly anything about like the individual fights. I just remember like specific characters that have left lasting impressions
Yeah.
on me after all this
Yeah.
time.
Yes,
And Baby
Alex.
5 is definitely one of
So
them.
it's Baby 5 and Sai, kind of versus Sai, and Don Jiao versus Lao Ji is the fight
Yeah.
that are going on.
Loud-
I
yeah.
forgot
It's
so many of
just-
those Coliseum
I love this fight
characters.
because it's just all just like complete utter nonsense is happening the whole
Yeah,
time.
The old
It's
man
like
just
no, I'm
starts
serious.
dying.
Starts dying mid fight.
And then he's like, never mind, I'm not dead anymore.
Yeah, they're like, look at his aura. His aura is rising above his head. Wait, that's his soul leaving his body. He's dying.
Mhm,
Classic One Piece.
mhm.
Yeah, it's classic One Piece.
But then he's
now.
like, no, I'm not. I won't. I'll return. After Baby G's crying. Or Baby G. Baby 5. I read G on
Baby
screen.
5 is a G. Baby 5 is a G.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay,
and
so Baby 5 versus Sai and
yeah, and that works. They all fight. Here, let me go
God,
to the
there's
next
so
chapter.
many like random fights going on in this.
I know
arc.
that was
Yeah.
that's a big gripe I have with this arc. Actually, I think it's a little too messy sometimes.
Yeah.
But
Kairos
true.
and that one guy fight who killed his wife.
freaking what's not
Yeah, the birth of
Diamante.
God Usopp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God Usopp
I don't
was
know
last time because this is Dressrosa part 2. So like
Oh,
post-
But
okay,
you
so-
can
post-
talk
that
about
was-
Usopp, that's
Well,
okay.
I was gonna ask, like, was that considered a fight? Like, is that in
I
the
would
same
say it's a
category as
fight.
like one of the fights of Dressrosa? Like, it is hilarious.
I
how
mean,
it turns
Usopp
out.
does basically take out Sugar twice. He's the
Yeah.
That's
only
true,
person who
that's
like wins.
I will note that's probably
double
my favorite
now.
fight of that
Yeah.
whole arc. I will say.
I
Yeah,
guess,
that's
yeah, if that
true.
was in part 1 for you guys, I kind of forgot how early on that happens.
Yeah, because
I think
well, it has to happen earlier because that's why all the gladiators get free in the first place to
Oh,
fight.
yeah.
I think it
and
may have happened
Dressrosa was
like
so
in
long.
I
That's pretty
think
long.
think it happened in like the
A lot happened.
740s.
Yeah.
That was still one of my favorite moments, if not my favorite moment in the
Just
arc.
so good.
Was that part where Usopp's like, "Whoa, I can like sense them." I was like, "Oh my god!"
I guess it's observation hockey on.
And yeah, so have I told you that because that actually I forgot to mention it last time we talked, but like that completely opened my brain up to what I think is happening, where it's like they've pretty much like explained that only like the real big dudes get hockey, and it's like, what are the odds of every one of Luffy's like all Luffy Straw Hat members learning hockey so easily? It's like, is Luffy giving them hockey?
Oh, shoot.
Oh.
Because you know who else has hockey? Fucking Kobe.
That's true.
Oh, that's
Kobe does
true.
have
That's
hockey.
true.
So you're like just a
You don't have to tell me if I'm right or
clarifying-
not. I'm just saying.
No, I'm not going to. I was just
Okay.
gonna. I just want to make sure I understand your theory. Your theory, Kurt, is that Luffy with like his hockey is somehow like spreading it amongst his crew, like he's
Yeah,
kind of
and that would-
granting it.
Yeah, and that would, and like maybe Gold Roger also had that, which is why they wanted to kill him and why they're so gung ho about killing Luffy once they saw it.
It's
I mean, I
It's
can
an
sort of
interesting theory.
understand that because a lot of people say that like if you want to learn how to emulate something, you need to witness it in person, like get a feel for it.
Yeah, and so many people keep telling, like, there's so many lines in the manga that are like, oh, that kid's like spreading something. Like that kid's like,
Like
everybody
Meacock
he
mentioned
touches-
it too.
Yeah,
Oh.
and like the idea of like
Yeah.
being free and like spreading that idea of freedom to people would be like perfect writing for that kind of thing.
So
Mm.
then,
like
so
that.
then, do you want every Straw Hat member to have hockey?
Because Zora does show he is hockey against Pika, right? That was like the whole thing. Is
Yeah.
when he beat him, he's like, Pika's like, you can't break through my hockey, and then Zora's like, only if your hockey's stronger than mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, obviously Luffy's doing it unintentionally, but like, yeah, I don't know
Right.
how they'll do that. But it's like that. I mean, no offense to Usopp, but like, he doesn't seem like the type that have hockey. Like, like.
Well, I mean,
So with that-
his dad
that
is the
little-
best sharpshooter on the
Yeah.
That's
entire
true.
ocean.
That's true. Yeah, I don't
He's
know.
got
That
them
it'd be. I feel like it wasn't. It doesn't feel like a
Maybe.
coincidence that they'd show that scene with Usopp to be like, oh, like look at that. Like someone else has hockey that Luffy knows, and it's like,
Yeah.
I could give into this theory too because there's some characters that I think are really, really powerful, like Robin, that doesn't have hockey, and maybe it's because she's not as close to Luffy. I don't know.
Well,
yeah, or
and
she
that's
just hasn't.
I don't
that's
know.
kind of like part of why I think the theory is really interesting, and that
Yeah.
I ask like whether or not the theory is true is not the same as like whether or not you want the theory to be true,
Yeah.
because the different skill sets and like abilities that people on the Straw Hat crew have, like do you want to see all of them get some kind of hockey? Like do you
Yeah, I
do you
don't know.
want them to get like new
Yeah.
kinds of hockey that haven't been talked about that like fit their skill sets or something? Because like
Yeah,
I
that'd
think I
be-
remember
that'd be
having this
interesting.
conversation with
Because like
somebody
Usopp's
back
hockey
then,
isn't
like wow, a
like
lot of people have hockey all of a sudden.
Usopp's hockey
Yeah.
isn't shown to be like the same kind as like
Yeah.
Luffy's.
That's true.
There's because I
His
think
is
at
like
the
very far range kind of.
there's like the
detective.
three
Yeah.
the three main kinds I think are what when we're introduced
Yeah,
to hockey. There's
Conqueror,
the Conqueror's
Armor,
hockey, armor
and,
hockey, and then
Observation.
perception or
Yes,
observation.
yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that was supposed to be showing that Usopp has the observation hockey,
Yes.
at least
Oh,
some
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
it. Yeah.
absolutely.
Definitely.
Mhm.
No,
I
I could
think-
see. I could definitely see in a writing perspective them like having a scene like that for each of the Straw Hats slowly over the course of like
I will
end of the
say, story wise, this does not disprove your theory, but it is story wise said that like you can train for years to get like observation and armament hockey.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
But some
It's
people are
just
just
that
like
most-
naturally predisposed to getting it. But Conqueror's hockey
Yeah.
is something that you cannot train. Like that has
Yeah.
to be
Gotcha.
armament.
And even if you do, like, if you train your way up to hockey, like, most people can only achieve one or the other in their
Right,
lifetime. Like, you can only, like, you can't, most people, the average person can't, like, just through hard work, get
Yeah.
both observation and armament.
You gotta be born with the
Gotcha.
moxie.
Get the
Yeah.
Moxie sport.
There aren't enough
But
training
even then-
arcs in the world.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and then like that could be a big theory on like the ultimate weapon is like Luffy's lineage.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, so you're
like-
saying Luffy himself is an ancient weapon?
Yeah, it's like or
Oh,
it's not
okay.
like something, something like that. And again, they were talking about how like, oh, the D is like the demons, the people who are going to take down the gods, and it's like, oh, maybe ever since the beginning they've kind of been the ones to like, mess with the idea of like structure because they're all
Uh-huh.
about freedom, and it's like, damn, that way actually kind of makes a lot of sense.
I love all these like One Piece
Mhm,
theories that we can start
I love
cooking
hearing
up.
these from people who aren't caught up. This is like it's such a different
I
kind of
know, right? I
discussion.
would be Leah. But speaking of people being weapons, what did you guys think of Baby Five's like backstory? It was like
Love
Oh
very.
it.
yeah,
Ride or die.
yeah. I
He's
was
a
like,
G.
Yeah. You ride or
I
die.
don't. That's all. I don't know. That's all I have to say about Baby Five.
I think
I don't remember.
Go ahead.
I think it was like a good view of like how Doflamingo's family, his quote unquote family, are really just, and if they're not useful to him, then he gets rid of them. Which is why he's like been murdering all of the people that Baby Five has like dated before, because that would mean that she leaves and she's
Yeah.
not going to be useful. And
Yeah.
even like Lao Ji calls her like, "Have you ever seen anyone as useful as her?" And she starts crying.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think the entire Don Quixote family really shows like all these different kinds of toxic relationships.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they only really touch on Baby Fives for like a little bit, but still, I think it's a good inclusion.
I think it's a very dark mirror to
Yeah.
what Luffy's crew is.
Yes, that too.
yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah. It's cool. Again, it has to do a lot with how much trust Luffy has in his crew, but how little trust like they have with
Oh,
Doflamingo.
yeah.
Yeah.
Doflamingo
all
needs to
about,
keep
like-
everything controlled.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about like I mean, since the very beginning of the arc, the theming of like deception is still like all their backstories that kind of has to do with, especially the dude that Frankie fights. That guy
Oh, yeah.
as well.
Do we want to talk about Senor Pink? You guys were hating on Senor Pink last time.
I wasn't.
Yeah, I was.
I was like,
I thought he was just.
Not,
thought he was
not
just
me
weird.
just
So
now
hard
realizing
boiled.
I've been confusing Senor Pink and Baby Five this whole time.
Oh,
Oh.
Y'all
no.
are like, why? Y'all are
Baby
probably
Five
thinking like,
is,
why is
like-
Leah referring to Baby Pink as like a guy, like the G and everything? And it's like that's because I was thinking of Senor Pink.
That's
Yeah.
I'm
okay.
ride or die for Senor Pink.
That's
I
fair.
like Baby
Cool,
Five.
yeah.
She was cute.
Yeah,
I like
Senior
Baby
Pink
Five.
and Frankie's fight. Oh my god.
Yes.
Just the straight like
So
levels above the stereotypical man to man. I won't fall back for nothing fight.
Macho man, mano y
It's
mano.
so
Yeah.
funny. He like wipes his tears at the end.
Yeah, I really do like their fight. I think that might be my actual favorite fight. 'cause
Yes.
It's so dumb.
That one is one of my favorite fights of the entire arc for
Yeah.
sure.
And then everyone watching is just like, why are you letting him hit you? And it's like, because it's a man fight.
It's a bad fight.
This is a fight between men.
Yes.
Yeah.
His backstory is pretty heartbreaking too.
Yeah.
It is,
You know,
yeah.
it's based on lies, which is sad as well.
Yeah.
I do get like I felt like a lot of people before I even knew who this character was were like, he's the best. I was like, why? He's a weird
Yeah.
baby man.
He's definitely one of those characters that you like do not understand why people are so like ride or die for him until you get to that chapter, and then you're just like, oh, now I
Yeah.
get it.
Oda
But
is the
explain to the
master at
people
making
who
me care
haven't.
about characters.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Explain to the people in the chat who are like, what are we talking about? There's this guy who dresses up as a baby with like a bonnet and a diaper and a pacifier and everything.
Mhm.
See, that's why I was
And-
confusing him with Baby Five.
I
'cause
get
he
it.
Yeah,
really
because
looks like a
He
baby.
dressed like a baby, but he's not called baby. He's called Senor Pink.
Yeah.
But yeah, he fell in love with this woman, but because he's part of the Don Quixote pirates, he had to hide that he was part of the pirates this whole time. They get married, they have a kid, but then while he's out away doing pirating stuff, his wife discovers that he's actually a pirate and he's been lying about being a banker. And their kid dies, so the kid is dead. And then the wife runs out, gets caught in a landslide, and becomes like a vegetable.
Yeah.
And the only time she smiles is when he puts on his dead son's like bonnet and stuff,
Yeah.
which is like so effed up. Like that's
So messed up.
that's
But
messed up.
wait, what chapter is the Senor Pink?
I actually have no idea.
I just want to go look at it again.
771 was it? Or 772.
Is it?
771 or
Oh,
772.
Cabbage and Romeo. That sounds like a Senor Pink chapter.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't
Let me-
see it, but I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not a chapter title, so
Frankie like actually did a lot this arc. He's the guy who actually took out the factory, which was the whole point of this whole mission in
Right.
the first
He's,
place.
he's the only one that did what he was supposed to
I
do.
know.
775.
Oh,
thank
okay.
you.
Mm.
I just
Yeah,
wanna look
to
at it
Russian
again.
with love. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to Russian with love. He's the wife Russian.
I just really like Frankie, so seeing him in a fight is just great. Anyway.
Yeah.
It was
And
fun,
then Frankie at the end being like, someday we should meet, like, go get a drink and you can tell
Yeah.
me all about your story.
You're gonna tell me all about Gimlet or whatever that character's
Yeah.
name was. Yeah.
Mm.
And
Ah.
I think right after that is when what's his oh my god, I'm blanking on his name. Rebecca's dad fights
Kairos.
that
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Kairos. Yeah, he fights the worst irredeemable monster in One
Okay,
Piece.
before we get to that, I want to talk about the Baby Five fight a little bit more since we're confused about that. Baby Five's a
Oh,
girl
yeah.
character who can turn
Yeah.
into weapons.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like she wants to be needed by everyone. So if anyone gives her a request, she's like, oh, you need me? I'll fight for
Yeah.
you. So like Sai almost tells her to kill herself. But then she's like, okay. And then he was like, wait, I didn't mean it. Don't do that. You stupid. Like, what are you doing? So he ends up like basically marrying her or getting engaged to her.
Yeah.
And then Sai gets his grandpa, the drill head grandpa. He's like, I won't accept this marriage. And that's why he was losing to Laoji, because he wasn't even paying attention. He was like listening in on them the whole time. It's just like a whole mess.
It is a whole mess. Yes.
And then like Sai like breaks his grandpa's head again.
He does.
Oh yeah.
1 second. Hanzo Miyazuki, thank you very much for joining the observatory. Welcome.
And then he's all like, but then his grandpa's like, I accept your marriage because now your foot is the new strong thing that will bust open the continent of ice for a treasure. It's just like, what the fuck is happening?
Sometimes things get so serious that you forget, like, this is One Piece.
Yeah.
And then
I know.
One Piece does a very, like, One Piece thing, and you're like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I love like Baby Five and them like actually getting together at the end.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
It was fun. And Cavendish goes to his Hakuba side and starts just like destroying everyone, which actually helps a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, Cavendish.
Did we talk about Hadruddin? Hadruddin versus
Hadruddin?
McVice? Yeah, the giant versus
Yeah.
McVice.
We haven't yet, but we can.
I think that was earlier, yeah.
Yeah.
That was okay.
Yeah, it's
That was
just
like a
okay.
warm-up fight.
It's just okay.
The one thing I don't like is that like McVice's power is just exactly like Miss Valentine's.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oda explains
He
it in one of the
explained- yeah, it's-
SPSs.
Yeah, he explains it, but
It's such a-
and also
it's a
they
trope,
only
it's a trope.
ever have like one attack. It is the Kirby down B attack from Super Smash Bros.
You're right.
Where you fly up and then you smash down.
Uh-huh.
That's all you can do. Like,
Well, we only
Come
knew that
on.
one person who played Kirby that way.
That's true. That's true.
yeah.
And sometimes it worked, and it was like twice as embarrassing if you died to it.
Yeah.
I love doing that if I don't feel like playing the game anymore. But I still gotta play. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so many fights in this, like in the latter half, like running towards the wrap up of.
Yeah. And
of,
Bartolomeo
Dressrosa.
makes a barrier around the pointy what's the
The pufferfish
man?
guy?
I don't know. The pufferfish man, yeah.
I thought it was a pufferfish.
I
Yeah.
can't think of any words today.
What's his name? Oh gosh, what's the pop
I
fruit?
cannot
stand
find
name?
his name, and I'm like scrolling through this chapter.
Gladius.
Gladius. Okay.
Yeah.
And he like sacrifices himself, quotation marks, for Robin,
Oh.
which was nice.
But then Gladius is like, haha, you missed because I was in my pufferfish form. You didn't actually get my heart. You got my shoulder.
Yeah, you didn't get me.
Mhm.
But then
And
he gets
then,
him in the end.
yeah, I like how he does body, no pistol.
Yeah, because
Oh yeah.
it's really cute.
Yeah.
He just wants to be Luffy.
I know.
Like a fun character to do that dynamic with. He like doesn't seem like the type of character you'd expect it from, which is really fun.
No, yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
total punk. like
Yeah.
you want to punch
That's like-
him.
That's why he like reminds me of like if you have that like younger brother that's like a punk, but like you still love him, and it's like, oh, you're so cute. You
Yeah.
think you're so badass.
Yeah. Same with that one fishman guy who's like a one of the killer fish or whatever, fighting fish blood fishman, the cross-dressing one. Yeah, he gets kind of just taken out by a
that guy.
punk by Hakuba.
That guy's scary.
Yeah, but he just got like taken out real easy.
That one scene where he like jumps at somebody and like stabs through their stomach. I don't remember who he does it to, but I was just like, holy moly.
It was the arm guy, the guy with the long arms.
Oh
The
yeah.
guy, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Gosh.
for sure. Oh gosh. Oh, and Robin saves Rebecca because
Yeah.
Rebecca
Oh,
can't
yeah.
do anything.
I know.
That was
I
so-
wish.
that
I
part was
wish
so cool.
you could fight along with.
But
them.
still, like seeing
That-
Robin do stuff is still cool.
I mean, like,
That was
yeah,
that was a good
She
that
was
was a good
awesome.
scene. It was when it was like covering it and then like the things are raining down and she's like, you saved me, and she's like, yep. And she's like, it's like all like in pain, but she's trying not to show it. Then it shows a shot of her back,
'cause
and
it
it's like,
just normal
oh no.
yeah, I guess it's like they were really leaning into the whole like emotional part of Rebecca's arc at that point. So like it feels like, yeah, like it feels like she's not doing as much, but that's because it's more about like all the emotional stuff with her and her dad.
And her dad is like, "Don't fight. I don't want you to fight." So she's not
Yeah, so it's
fighting.
leaning on that father-daughter like stuff,
Yeah.
protectiveness, because she's been fighting so much like for her like of her life that he wants to like let her not fight for once, I guess.
Yeah, and she doesn't want her to ever like take a life and be like him, like a murderer.
Sure.
Yeah, it's cute, but it's true. Yeah, I think she's too important at the beginning of the arc, maybe, because it just makes
Or
it so
I
it
feel
feels
like she should have like done something else, because like even with Viola I feel like does more.
yeah. It's
I
also,
feel like they
I mean,
could have
like,
combined these two characters into one in a one.
yeah. Yeah, they probably could have done
Rebecca
something
was
more
like one of
interesting.
those spokesman type characters for the beginning of the arc. They
Mhm.
always have like those prominent ones that show up at the beginning and everybody like falls in love with. But like in this arc in particular, I think Oda just like kind of got overwhelmed with all the different fights and plot lines he was trying to
A little
wrap
bit,
up.
yeah.
This was way
And she
too
kind of got lost in
ambitious.
the mud.
There's a
Yeah,
lot.
because I think even Princess Shirahoshi, even though she was kind of a coward, she actually had more plot relevance and stuff to
Yeah.
do by the end.
Yeah.
She
So I
did.
feel like maybe he just lost track of it all, or like he only had so many pages per week, and so
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hopefully
he was
like he
definitely-
does more with her in the future, because that is something that we've learned he can do, is like take a character that didn't do much and hadn't made that much of an impression and come back
Yeah,
later.
bring them back. Yeah.
It's hard
That's
it's
true.
hard not to compare Rebecca to Vivi as well, just in terms of like how they're set up and things. It's like I'm like, oh man, she just like there's too much going on. It's not focused, and
I
she's
wasn't
just
gonna say
sidelined.
it, but yeah.
Yeah,
She does
it's
feel
hard
like
not. I mean,
a similar parallel role type character
yeah,
as Phoebe.
it doesn't help that he
not
designs
as
the
good.
character system widely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this whole arc is like a parallel to Alabasta, though it's a little bit
Yeah.
reversed, where like in this time they are taking out the king.
Yeah, it's interesting though, because it's like it doesn't really make note of that though. It almost like I don't know if I would have did that intentionally or not, but like either way, I think this might be one of the I like it. It's like a weird example where it's like I like what he's doing in the arc, but it feels a little too much. It's like I could see why people might.
Comparison is like
Yeah.
Dressrosa is what Alabasta would have become if Crocodile had succeeded.
I could see that.
Yeah, like I think if you apply enough critical analysis and put the two arcs side by side, you'll find enough intentional writing choices to like have some really good comparisons made about
And I
it.
think if you have put a lot of arcs side by side, you can see that a lot of them are sort of parallels to one another with like for example Skypiea and Fishman Island, with one being 3,000 above and the other being 3,000 below.
Yeah.
And both of them having this theme of like racism and colonialism.
Yep. Yeah, I was gonna say that too.
Yeah.
Yep. You're right. But I don't think that's bad. It's just like I think Oda's also really driving home that this world is messed up.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Like he's not the Goda or Goda or whatever that some fans like to say. Like I don't buy into the like hype that he like pre-planned and predicted like all of this stuff like from the beginning.
No.
Or had it all outlined and meant to do all these comparisons and parallels from the beginning. But I do think he's an intelligent writer and sees the possibilities and the potentials, and then can like pivot his writing to like form these ideas and make them real.
I don't think it's an understatement to call Oda a genius for how much he has to work with.
I
But
think he would be an incredible dungeon master,
Ooh,
yeah.
yes.
But yeah, he's not like I think that's what makes One Piece also just like that's like an X factor. It's so human. Like it really does feel like something made by somebody. which is really smart. Like that. I mean, like not that it's intentional, but it's something that makes the series super enjoyable because it's like, yeah, I mean, Oda's not perfect, not everything's perfect, but like, you're here for the ride. Like we've come this far, we've seen his writing get so much more ambitious, so we're willing to like, give him a break when it's like,
Yeah.
little like, there's learning, there's what do you call it, like growing pains sometimes.
Yeah.
I do remember like when this arc like was in its concluding act or whatever, like at the time, reading it week to week, there was so many comments I would see every week where people were just like, like we're tired of Dressrosa. Like it's been going on for so long. It's the longest arc by a mile at this point. Like when are we gonna leave Dressrosa and stuff? And like even with all these amazing fights happening and everyone still loving what was happening, like there was still that frustration with Oda and not it being able to like wrap up and move on everything as cleanly as he had done in the past.
That's
so
end of arc syndrome with One Piece. That's what happens when you read one
but
to
it was
week to week.
it was especially painful with that one being the current longest arc, and
especially with the people watching the
yeah.
anime too. The anime people had rough this arc.
That was around the time I think I fell off the anime. It was because like I was tired of watching Dressrosa at the beginning of Dressrosa while still being in Dressrosa in the manga, and so like I haven't gone back to the anime since then. But yeah, I think it just kind of is part of the human factor that you guys are talking about with it, where like we can be frustrated with it and still love it, and it's part of what makes it feel like a fun project.
Yeah, it's cool that you can very clearly, like, even when people have criticisms with it where it's like week to week, it's like, you're like, people are probably like, Oda, you like added too much, this is taking too long to finish. I almost forget that like Dressrosa is also the arc with where people were toys. It's like, oh yeah,
people
that happened. Like I forgot that was part of the plot.
It's the arc in Gear 4.
Like
yeah.
Like we haven't said it yet, but Leo, the I don't know, the one of
the Tontada.
The Tontada. I was like gonna say he was the leader or something, but he's not the leader. He's just like the
he's
major.
The guy.
He's the guy.
He's the protagonist of the Tontada.
The Tontada guy.
He goes and saves Princess Mancherry.
Yeah. That was crazy. I was like, wait, you're giving that like little girl the like heal fruit, like the one like time. Like I'm like, this is where you're using this, Oda. Like
it was necessary.
It was.
I don't think it was very
just
clear
so
that
gosh darn adorable.
They are very cute.
Like Leo also has a devil fruit. Leo's is the so fruit. He can sew people together.
Yeah. Which is funny because he just has like the power down version of Doflamingo's fruit.
Oh, you're right. I never thought of that way.
Yeah. But he's using it for good.
Yeah.
Sewing is cool.
Yeah. And I love how like he's the oblivious protagonist. He's from a different anime entirely. He's from the like romance anime where the main character is super dense and oblivious to how the princess likes him.
He doesn't get it.
So every MC shonen.
Yeah.
Got it. Cool.
I just realized now, looking through these the cover arts that Jinbei found one of the poneglyphs. Anyway.
Oh yeah.
Anyway.
Pay attention to the
you gotta
covers.
pay attention. I've just forgot about it.
Weeks of like random goofy like reader submissions, and then all of a sudden, wait, hold on, this looks important.
Hold on, this thing is plot relevant.
This is plot relevant, yeah.
Leah and I look at each other with like the current covers and be like, "This is so relevant."
I'm thinking about them. There's so many things y'all have been discussing, and like what you're thinking, and I'm just like, can't talk about what's happening.
You know my pain.
So things get like worse and worse, more dire, because the net thing is starting to like move inwards, and it might kill people.
Doflamingo has created the whole like bird cage.
It's just like the stakes get like. I was impressed with the ability to raise the stakes by having like the Devil Fruit Awakening and Doflamingo being able to do that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, just like turn stuff into strings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like broke my mind at the time. I'm like, what? Like thinking of the wider implications.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you're right.
Because he doesn't introduce those kinds of gimmicks or mechanics recklessly.
Yeah, for no reason.
It's not like a one and done thing. Like now that awakenings are a thing, like you have to keep that in mind going forward.
Yeah.
I guess I will say with this one, because I read it all kind of in like 2 chunks. While we were reading Skypiea, the entire time I was like, oh my god, where is Luffy? Because he's obviously can just go and defeat Enel no problem. This one I didn't feel that way because like Luffy had a lot more emotional investment in the world that we were in.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. With the Ace's Devil Fruit
Mm-hmm.
and everything going on, and
Yeah.
Rebecca,
Yeah.
Bellamy.
Yeah.
I think that is one thing that you can see Oda improving upon is like the reason why Luffy isn't there to just like punch the big bad right away.
Yes.
Mhm.
I was trying to think of how to
It's almost
word
like
it, but
even
you
if he
can
did
nail.
go punch the big bad right away, like Law literally did that. Law tried to like off Doflamingo right away, and he lost.
Yeah, he
I think
lost.
genius irony that like this is the one instance where they literally say like you got to punch him once, Luffy. Like,
Yeah.
like near the end they're just like land the punch. That's all you need,
That's all
and
I
it's like
need.
damn.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I also think that Snot Man is almost as bad as Caribou, but not as bad. Not quite as
He's
bad.
pretty awful.
I still hate him.
Yeah, it's
Pretty
pretty gross
awful.
that like after they knock off the slime, it's just like he's just this like skinny wretched old man, and that's why he couldn't get hit.
It's so gross.
Yeah.
It means that he's not made of slime; he just chooses to be covered in slime.
I just imagine that he feels like paper mache, and that freaks me out. I hate the feeling of paper mache.
I mean,
Yeah,
in there,
paper mache.
Yeah, that's gross. God.
yeah, but, like Law gets his arm cut off, and he's about to get like murderized, and Luffy stops him.
Yeah, Luffy stops him.
Doflamingo.
Yeah, and Law's like, "Fuck you. You can't do anything. You can't kill me in a way that matters." But it's okay because Luffy's there.
Can't kill me in a way that
That's basically what he said.
Yeah, but you just made me think of the original Tumblr post.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Your curse ends here.
Yeah, no, Law's fight was really, really good because like it's not like Law is one of those intelligent characters that like you can tell like if he's fighting directly, like that's not his first method of dealing with things. Like so to see like his intense fight with Doflamingo and like the emotional like tension and stakes in it too, it's a really good fight. Every time like Luffy gets to fight like side by side with someone who has like the most emotional stakes in whatever big conflict is happening, like it's always an interesting dynamic to read. I always like it.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
he doesn't have to be the one that cares the most. He just has to be fighting alongside the person who cares the most.
Yeah, and he cares about those people, which means he cares equally as much as they do. Because
true.
Yeah,
Luffy's just so ride or die, you know.
He
for,
really
like, people
is.
to out.
it's very easy
Even
to
though
get right or
Law
die.
would not admit that they're friends, but they're totally friends.
Totally.
So long as you're loyal, he's like chill with being friends.
As long as you're not a dick.
Or you're
he's
not a
chill
dick.
with
Yeah,
being
that's true.
friends.
Actually,
Give him food and he's your friend, even if you are a dick.
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Actually, before we go into like the full final fight, unless this is it, what did you think of the fights? Realm, what was your favorite one?
That's tough because, like you guys mentioned before, I do notice almost every arc is just like an ascension of Alabasta.
Yeah.
So it like, I don't know. At some point, you just get lost, so you just kind of enjoy what's like in front of you.
I feel that
So-
way too.
I
Where I'm
try.
at, I don't look back.
See, that's almost what you have to do. Like if I kept looking back for every little thing, I just take a screenshot and I continue on because otherwise I'd never catch up to what I'm supposed to read.
Oh yeah.
You know. But I did find it funny about the whole one punch thing. I was just like, man, you really got to do something now, don't you, Luffy? But at least he was like, I don't know. Luffy felt just like a little bit more, not responsible, but he just felt, I don't know. I guess
More focused, I think.
more focused, more aware, more down to earth in his usual demeanor because he's like, well, I figured out how to fight and this is how I fought. I also understand this is what I can do and what I can do. Like, can you guys help? And you know, I like the whole camaraderie biz.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's so funny you mention that because I feel like I treat One Piece like an encyclopedia sometimes, where I'm like, something will be mentioned, I'm like, wait, when was that mentioned again? And I'll like go back in chapters and try to find like where that was
Yeah.
mentioned again. Like, oh, that was mentioned there. Oh my god, that's cool. And then like search through the manga like some kind of like encyclopedia trying to
I
find
have to
information.
look up way too many things on the wiki sometimes.
Yeah,
Like, I
I
gave
don't-
up
I
on
don't
going
want
back
to.
through the manga.
I can't
and
do
I'm just
that.
like,
I
gotta
want
go
to.
Google it.
Yeah, I can't look at the wiki
But, like,
yet.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say it's like I
I know
when I
you
was
guys
when I was
can't.
thinking about I was thinking about the hockey thing. I went back to like the part with Kobe just to see how they worded it at that part,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and I
yeah.
was like, I should just Google like Kobe hockey. I'm like, I should not do that.
Yeah, you
I
should not.
know.
But yeah,
I
once
was
you
like,
get
that's
caught
a
up,
bad
like
idea.
it's like I
Mhm.
can't go back. My brain is like like thrown too much of it out over the
It's
years.
filled
I'm
with
just gonna
so
Google
much.
it.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I'm glad we're kind of consuming it at once because like I feel like from everyone I've talked to, it's like when you get these like these small chunks of like lore in the course of like years, it's like you kind of forget how things line up. So I'm like, oh,
yeah.
I'm kind of glad I'm exhaustingly reading 70 chapters at a time sometimes.
Yeah.
Big series
Sorry,
that I need
sorry.
to go back
That's
and
okay.
reread.
Oh, don't apologize. I'm enjoying it. This is the only way I would have been able to read it. So
Mhm.
Yeah, it's good to consume a series like this
Yeah.
that way.
yeah,
Yeah, and I think
I'm like
because
literally
we read,
recommending everyone to do it. I'm like, dude, form a book club. If you want to read One Piece, get some friends in. Everyone wants to
Yeah.
read One Piece.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
everyone's heard how good it is. Everyone wants to read it. They just don't have the time. A book club is the perfect way to consume this series. Like,
It
I
is.
don't
Yeah.
need to watch the anime
Yeah, everyone
anymore. I'm
wants to
just like,
talk
go
about it
straight
because
to
they
the
want it
manga.
theorized and everything.
yeah, my hot take is I think the anime is not very good for the most part from what I've watched. I was
I
like an
think
It's
it's
anime
like
watcher.
a
impossible
lot
to
of manga
recommend.
readers don't like the anime. I
Uh-oh.
also
Yeah,
agree.
well,
I think
I
the
started
manga,
with the anime and I stopped
yeah,
about 250 episodes in, and
the
like I
anime
like
art is pretty good sometimes, and the animation is
Yeah.
good sometimes, but
I like I like
it's
the
very mixed quality is the thing, and the
Mhm.
pacing is very
yeah I like the opening of One Piece, like the style and stuff where like the first
yeah, yeah.
like East Blue and the first parts of the series are really good, but once they basically go into like HD and widescreen where they get like that's kind of like basically Enies Lobby and on, the animation quality and like just the pacing just gets really
Yeah.
weird. Like I like
Because
parts of those arcs, but
it's because they've been making it weekly for like
yeah,
years and years and
Yeah.
yeah.
decades.
Like 25
It's just
years.
it's a nature. I always tell people like it's the nature of the beast. Like this is a comic book series. Oda's not. It doesn't even get a chance to watch the anime. He has
With
no like
movies, though.
He helps with
the
the
movie.
movies sometimes, right?
Yeah, he
Oh,
helps with
Yeah.
the
really?
movies.
He's been on like all the more recent movies, and
Yeah.
so like
Yeah.
I would say like a lot of the, I mean,
Some of the early movies are kind of bad.
yeah, but like
But
all of them from Strong World, like Strong World
yeah,
is the first one Oda was part of. That one was super good. Film Z, the second one Oda was on, I think, and then like
yeah.
everyone since then he's been a part of. And the nice thing is that like they aren't part canon to the manga or the anime. They're like totally new stories each time, and they're just like really fun little bottle episodes, like
And
Yeah.
self-contained, but
I
you get to
think,
see everybody do fun stuff and have new outfits and
oh yeah, new outfits. Yeah,
and the production quality is very high.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
Whatever.
the movies also make me very hopeful for the end of One Piece because people are like, "There's no way it'll pay it off." But like, even in a non-canon movie, when all the characters like come together, we still are like hype.
Yeah, it
It's
still
like
feels good.
Yeah.
when it
Yeah.
happens for real in the canon, there's no
Yeah.
way like we won't be hyped.
There's
about
no. I'm like. I don't think there's something I've ever been more confident in my life. Is like Oda's not going to fumble the ending of One Piece.
Yeah.
People
This
crazy.
ain't,
Like
this ain't a Patrick Rothfuss, George R.R. Martin
Oh,
problem.
God.
yeah, I was like,
Like,
Oda's
are we
gonna,
reading the same? Are we reading the same manga here? Like,
Yeah.
there's no way. Like,
yeah.
Right,
I
right.
have faith in Oda.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oda has said he has planned out the ending since the start, but the series has gone on longer because he added in the Seven Warlords
Yeah.
stuff.
Like there's
Yeah.
so much stuff he's added in. So and like maybe like the core of his ending is probably still there, but like how he's getting there has definitely changed. And maybe like a
Oh,
lot of
yeah.
the like ramifications and like a lot of the stuff that ties into this end he imagined will be like new and exciting.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's cool that he can keep it but also add to it.
See,
Yeah.
that's the reason I roll on the other side when people are saying like Goda all the time. I'm just like, well, there are a number of things that he has done, and like he is not a perfect mangaka, but the things that we say we enjoy at many points, it's not at one point, it's not at a particular ending, or like you just say, hey bro, wait till like wait till this episode or wait till this arc, like you'll just get kicked, like just really enjoy it. Like he consistently sets out and accomplishes things that we just overwhelmingly enjoy. Like we're literally 800 chapters in and we're still getting, we're not I guess coming from other series, you know, like when I was reading like Shippuden, I was just like, oh my god, what else is gonna happen now? Or like when I'm reading Kingdom, I'm like, well, I'm kind of here already, so I might as well keep going. But no, I don't
Yeah.
feel that way with this. It's like things are continuously being expressed in a productive, and he just gets it done. He just does
Mhm.
it
He
well,
continues to
and
get
it
the
just
core things right.
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
it
He
and I
sets
guess
expectations and he fulfills them.
it's
The thing-
either a lack of intent by other artists to do that, or it's just him being exceptionally good at getting what he does across to the viewers, and it's an overwhelmingly positive response.
I think
Yeah,
it's a
I
little bit of
think
both.
yeah, I think it's not to the blame the other authors because writing a weekly series is so hard. Like coming
Yeah.
Right.
up with it
Yeah,
week to
like
week to week.
Bleach was
Yeah, I could not
awful. As
imagine.
someone who was reading the ending, the final arc weekly, like
Yeah.
Bleach was
Oh
awful. But
no.
like after hearing about like well, I mean, it's still mostly hearsay, but because like we may never know the truth about Kubo Tite and like his relationship with Shonen Jump
Yeah,
and when
yeah.
he wanted to end Bleach versus when they wanted to end Bleach. But like it was like that feeling you talked about where like it's just frustrating, but it's sunk cost fallacy. I've been with it this long, like I need to read it all the way to the end. And then I was so pissed off at the actual final chapter, and I'm like, Oda wouldn't do this to me.
I think Otis is built different though. He like lives and breathes this world, this
Yeah.
One
Like-
Piece world. Like
Yeah.
his
Just to
wife.
not hate
Do you know
their
how he met his
characters by
wife?
the end.
He met it because she was like a Nami cosplayer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he loves
Like-
Nami.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, it's funny.
I did not know that. That's ridiculous.
I know.
She was a stage performer, like for Nami in like one of the stage shows.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Oh wow,
But the stage performance.
interesting.
Stage
That must be an
performance,
interesting
okay.
danyamic.
I read the wrong thing then.
I can't imagine he
I'm
has
pretty
much
sure.
time to spend with his wife, but
no,
you
you're
know.
probably right.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
Jim.
like you could just kind of tell, like when reading some of these other long-running series, that the mangakas just don't like have the same love for their characters, or like maybe just not the same like respect for their stories, or because there's like the job like money making aspect, like with
Yeah.
Naruto. I mean, I didn't love Naruto,
Just
but like
the
it was
stress
it just
of, like,
feels
doing
like it undercuts itself by creating Boruto, like so.
Yeah, that's something
Really?
I've
The only
been.
author I've seen like be so consistent with like loving their own series is Araki. Hirohiko Araki.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
I feel
But
like he even
different
has some
piece
moments
because
of like
Araki is
exhaustion.
also built different. He literally says, "I don't remember what I wrote in my previous part. I just had to
Absolute
go."
Chad.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, people love pointing out, and especially in like part 5, like, why couldn't you just? Well, I didn't, I just come on, guys.
That
I'm just
is-
a, I'm just a
he literally
man.
says, like, "I'll reread my old parts as a fan because I don't know what's happening. I don't remember."
That is one thing though. Oda like has like a steel trap memory. Like holy crap.
I don't think it's a memory. He has a file cabinet where he keeps all this
Okay,
stuff.
I was
he
gonna
is
say, I
very
think-
organized.
I think, no, I don't even know if it's like, yeah, he's very mentally organized. Again, when
Yeah.
I was talking about his room and that, like,
Yeah.
that
And
the actor like met him or whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah. I was so like, I was like, oh, that's Oda's room. I was like, there's no doubt about it. Like, look at that fucking room. Like, that is his goddamn room. Like, oh my god. Like, it's the most like perfectly mirrors One Piece in like how he lived. Like,
Yeah.
like, it's so funny.
Yeah.
No, yeah, and he's really good with thematic consistency too. Like One Piece is very satisfying as like has a very dense like core that it wants to keep itself at.
Yeah.
That's like something that I think somehow like I've been following My Hero Academia since the very beginning, and sometimes I think that series gets a little messy in what it's trying to say.
Mm.
It's like saying a lot, but like there is like that freedom is like the true like meaning of One Piece. So it's like that is so cool that it like always rings true in every single thing he writes, and it's like, oh, it's so smart. Like it's such a very very broad like theme to continue with like the whole way through. It's so cool.
Yeah,
I-
you're
I
right.
think we got distracted.
I think another very good like analogy is Tolkien. Like it's a Tolkien level of like world building.
Oh
You know?
yes, yeah.
it's just like how much you like love this world. Like you put so
Yeah,
much
that's a series that like I think One Piece should be put on the same pedestal as of like
Yeah.
all of like The Hobbit and all that stuff. Like I feel like One Piece is like as dense, if not more dense, than like stuff like that, and it's like it gets scoffed at because it's like a
it's
more
a goofy
grander
pirate
scale.
manga.
Yeah, it's a goofy manga with manga tropey shonen, and it's like, but like it's like the best at that. Like,
All right, though. Let's finish Dressrosa and then we can talk about
yeah.
our love more.
So,
All
what
right.
do you think of Gear 4?
Well, I think even before Gear 4, I thought it was really cool after Law was like super beat up by Doflamingo like for the third time, and Luffy just stops him with his foot, like you're not gonna curb stop my friend.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's so
That
much
was
like
so
really back
badass.
in Sabati.
Iconic.
Yeah, I thought that was so cool. And then they fight,
He's like-
and Zoro and like everyone in the town is trying to like prevent the net thing, the bird cage from getting too small.
Yeah. And I liked
Um,
how they actually pushed against it and they were like, wait a second, the factory is made out of sea stone. So sea stone won't be affected by its powers, so we can push on that.
Yeah, you can push on it.
Yeah.
I like that like the whole city was trying to save their city. It was really nice.
That was insane. They made such a horror story of like a situation where this bird cage is slowly, but like they've made it sure you know that nobody's dead.
Yeah.
They constantly kept saying that, like, oh, nobody, like make sure nobody dies. And I'm like, oh, like somebody's gotta die in this situation, right?
Probably.
Not in One
I
Piece.
got these heal fruits just
yeah,
in time.
yeah.
Well,
The law of One Piece. There's not
Yeah.
there's not a body.
That's
Anything
actually one thing I
possible.
liked about the
Literally.
live action where they actually killed off a character
Yeah.
and they dead.
Yeah.
Oh really? I haven't watched the live action yet.
And that
I
was
think that's one of the
We'll
first
talk about that
things.
later. We're getting off topic again. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
okay. It's okay.
Gear 4.
Yeah, he uses Eagle Bazooka, and then they fight, and then he gets stuck in the sticky man, and it's gross. And I hate that part. It also gives like backstory where he's just like a complete toxic influence on Doflamingo, telling him like he is the one true ruler and should like look down on everyone. Like he's just enabling Doflamingo to be a piece of shit the whole
It
time.
wasn't enough to make me like Doflamingo, but
No.
I think it's more a commentary about like how, nature versus nurture,
Yeah, for sure.
He kept being nurtured in a negative way, even though his brother was like from the same background, but
Yep. I mean, like, well,
like
it
a total dickwad asshole.
it kind of, they try to play it like it's like built at their core almost, because like very early on their reaction to being like tortured was like Doflamingo's was much more like ego focused, and then the other Corazon was much more like sympathetic, I guess.
But you also have Law. Law is also similar to Doffy's reaction when he's faced with injustice in this world at the start. But because Law had a good mentor in Corazon, he actually turns out to be a good person in the end.
Yep. It's cool.
Yeah, it's very good
writing.
Yeah, it is good. Law gets thrown off the castle and caught in a web of arms from Robin. And then, I don't know, when does he use Gear 4? It's cool. I'm just going through the chapters.
He basically says, like, I'm going to end it now. Like,
oh,
this is...
yeah, because he gets knocked out, right? And he's like, he needs 10 minutes to wait to use his power.
Well, he tries it. He tries it once.
Yeah, he
tries
starts
it once.
First, and he basically is like,
yeah,
once I go into Gear 4, like, you're not going to stop me anymore.
Yeah.
Which he starts like absolutely just like pommeling Doflamingo in Gear 4.
Which I saved the screenshots for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said
awesome.
I said I filed in every time he got decked in the face.
Did you notice that his like Gear 4 like punches are actually very similar to the way that Bellamy launches his springs?
Kinda, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like the I like the compounding effect. It was really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, the compounding was good. I like the visual of it. It was good.
Yeah, way different than the other ones.
Yeah, it's so different.
Yeah, I see.
It's interesting. Like, it's interesting how like Gear 2 was like a transformation kind of. Gear 3 was just kind of a move. Like it was just like make my fist big.
Yeah.
And then Gear 4 is now a transformation again. So it's like, it's very interesting. It's like very unconventional the way they're doing like power up system.
Well, Gear 2 wasn't like a transformation. It was more like a manipulation of his body in just a different
Yeah,
way.
well, it's like he
Yeah.
made his blood rubber.
Oh, I hate
And
it.
Well, like he
He made
uses like
his
his
bones
rubber
rubber, and now he's making
veins or whatever
rubber.
to like squeeze.
He had that
like, make
nice
his
fuel
blood.
injection, that clean E85.
So weird.
I thought he just like rubbed his skin really fast and like
Nope.
increased blood pressure or something.
No, he like contracts his rubber muscles or whatever, like to make his rubber blood vessels like
Extra
constricts to like
rubbery.
force the
Forcing his
blood to
heart rate
move like really
faster.
fast, which
Extra wiggles.
yeah
Yeah.
makes him like superheated rubber.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
say that's how bodies work. Yes.
Yeah,
Well, when
yeah.
your body's rubber, all
Yeah.
bets are off.
It's true. You're right.
Yeah.
Logic no longer applies to Logia type, like to those people who like
Or
are
he's
their fruit.
Paramecia, though.
Oh, Paramecia, right?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
not Logia.
Well, Logia too, like both
Oh,
of
that's
them,
right.
both
Yeah.
types. All
Right,
bets are
physics,
off
you
on
know.
how things work.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. So he does it. He uses gear for the first time. He's not powerful quite enough, and then he needs like 10 minutes to cool down.
Yeah, or he's like about to finish him off, but then it runs out
Oh,
because
yeah.
Gear 4
That was like
also
his first
Gear
time
4
using
he
it.
combines it with his hockey. Like he like it's almost like zombie Luffy back on
Yeah,
Thriller Bark.
yeah, it
Instead
is.
of filling with soul shadows, it's filling with himself with hockey.
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of looks like Zombie Luffy too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I thought the constant like timers towards the end was a little like cliche. Like they had like constant like we have to last this long. We only have this much time, and we have to do this before
It was
this. And
part
I
of
was,
why the frustration week to week was so bad with this arc
Yeah.
ending in
It's-
particular was because of all these timers, and every single
Yeah.
week it's like, wait, was this only
drama.
30 seconds of in-world
It's like
events?
time.
Actually,
Yeah.
time
Yeah.
passing? Yeah.
yeah, it feels weird because it's like comparing this to like Alabasta. Alabasta's so simple in comparison, but I think that's
Yeah.
like its strength compared to something like this. But yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Law beats up Jesus Burgess. Is that how his name?
That's not
Oh my
Law.
God, I forgot his name.
Not
Sabo beats him.
Sabo. Sorry, I'm looking at Law right now. Sorry. Every time I look at the character, I say their name instead of the actual character I mean to say.
Yeah, I like that. But then also, like, Burgess pulls out some sort of like special knife. Is this a knife that lets him steal devil fruits or something? Like, because he doesn't use knives.
I don't want
He's
to.
like a wrestler man.
I don't like that.
Yeah. Will like cut the devil fruit out of your body or something? Because clearly, like, they have found out some way to steal devil fruits. Because Blackbeard.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, I was gonna say was like Blackbeard's thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, the town just scrambles for several chapters, so I do actually understand the frustration if I was reading this week to week. 'cause everyone's just
Well,
trying
I
to
will say
survive.
with the countdowns, one thing I like is that it's not a coincidence that like Luffy comes back to beat up Doflamingo at the end of the countdown, because he's not ready when the countdown is over. He's still like weak,
Yeah.
but
Mhm.
he hears the
Yeah.
countdown happening and he's like, I have to be there to help them like, right now.
Yeah. Yeah. He knows he has to do it.
Yeah, even though he's actually not ready.
Yeah. Go Luffy.
Yeah, everyone, that's his name.
And everyone's getting like their like adrenaline power ups through the heal fruit
Yeah,
to stop the cage from shutting.
Mhm.
Ugh, and then the
Kind of similar to
go ahead.
oh my gosh, what was the character's name? In the Marineford arc, how like how Ivankov kept like pumping Luffy full of stuff so that he
Oh,
could get
yeah.
up again.
Oh yeah, the
Hormones?
hormone
The
adrenaline
hormones,
shot.
yeah,
Yeah.
like adrenaline basically, like
Uh-huh.
here to like
Yeah.
like get up, go back. He's like, give it to me. I'm not done fighting.
That's me, but with estrogen. No.
Me, but with coffee.
Give it to me. Yeah. That's me with coffee. Yeah.
Give it to me.
Needs coffee. I'm on pure rage.
I have 3 pages left of this paper.
Oh God.
Something about like estrogen giving you like Luffy like.
It's just making you rubbery.
Well, I
Tell me the
heard
truth. I'm a doctor.
It does make your skin smoother, so I mean.
Yeah.
That's Luffy's secret. You can't
100%.
see.
That's why he's so shimmery. That's why he's so
Oh
shimmery,
my
guys. Come on.
Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's estrogen.
And yeah, during this countdown, Rebecca tries to go face Rebecca's aunt tries to go
Yeah,
face
Viola.
tries to go face Doflamingo for some reason.
I think it's a pretty okay callback to
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the
yeah.
beginning of the arc. It's like the women of Dressrosa are so passionate they would kill their lovers.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
It is. But for me, from my perspective, I'm like, girl, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Isn't there like almost always that character though that it's like they're like I have to fight, like I have to help, but it's like you're gonna die.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I feel like every island or every fight in One Piece, there's always that one character where you're like, no, baby, no, stay
Yeah,
back.
usually it's Usopp.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, even
Yeah, I
like
felt-
side. Usually, I'm thinking of like side characters that you meet like on the island itself
That's
or
true.
something.
Yeah.
Like there
Yeah,
were like
Viper.
fishman characters where I'm like, no, sweetie, like stay back.
Yeah,
They
like
got this.
Hachi.
I had like it was like so. I will say it was so obvious when Rebecca and Viola were like in that. I was like, oh, Dolphin was gonna make like one of them try to kill each other, and I was like,
Yeah.
it's like it kind of was like exactly what I expected.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
And that's exactly what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which is, it's like, okay. I guess so.
it was pretty typical. It was kind of cool, but like I knew it was like they weren't gonna kill fucking obviously, but like. I get like it was trying to be like super hype, like everything happening at once at the same time. So if he finally gets there and is ready to stop him, it's like I do like how what's his face like teleports him in.
Law.
Law,
Law.
Yeah.
like shambles him in place. Yeah, it's pretty
He
cool.
teleports him in and everything. And everybody.
Teleports in front of you. Nothing
Gosh.
personal.
Oh, and the announcer guy gets really into it too.
Yeah.
Well, he's like, I
Yeah.
recognize you. Time to
Yeah.
play my part.
Yeah. And then by the end of the 10 minutes are up, Rebecca's about to kill her Aunt Viola, but it's okay. Luffy uses hockey on his head and breaks the sword.
Yep.
Yay, Luffy!
And he's pissed.
It's Lucy!
Luffy / Lucy /
Yeah.
who?
It's
Yeah,
Luffy
Rebecca
with
still
the
calls
chair.
him like Lucy. She
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
know.
Yeah. And then, yeah. Luffy does get beat up still a bit by Doflamingo, but
Because
it's okay.
Doflamingo reveals this like new power
Yeah,
where
it's like
called awakening, like
super-
devil fruits
Mhm.
can awaken.
Yeah, his super awakening power.
He's when he goes scorched earth policy.
Yeah, he can turn anything into strings, not just control string.
Yeah, and he uses like 1,000 arrows thread thing power. Yeah.
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 Yeah. And that's cool. I do like his abilities. I think they're cool, but I wish he wasn't evil. But oh well. He's super evil.
Having cool villains is the mark of a good shonen.
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah.
Yeah, Doflamingo is a very cool villain. That's why I was a little disappointed how like he went down, but it was, I guess, to be expected.
feel-
But like
I
he just
think-
kind of got.
It just goes to show, like, once again, like Luffy with his Gear 4 is just that strong. Like it's a different
Yeah.
level of power now than like someone like Doflamingo, who is kind of like similar in power to like people like Crocodile. There's the Seven Warlords.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
probably stronger. I don't know, because he did succeed in taking over the country.
Yeah.
And he's using Haki, which Crocodile didn't actually do.
No, he didn't. Yeah. It's true.
But I think another parallel that people have pointed out with Crocodile in Alabasta is Crocodile was like a secret villain. Like he was keeping all of his underground, his like Baroque Works organization underground.
Oh yeah.
And Luffy punches him up through the floor out into the open, out into the sky.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Doflamingo is like this super high and mighty god character, and Luffy punches him down
Yep.
into the earth. And brings
Yep.
him
Yeah, it's
It's
just
like a
symbolic.
metaphor.
down. Yeah. Symbolism.
oh, I'm told. Yeah,
Representative of your downfall? What?
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I do like that
You
Luffy's,
falling down represents your downfall.
Luffy's like, you're trying to trap everybody and it's suffocating me.
I love that
yeah.
line. He doesn't say it's suffocating them, he says it's suffocating me. And I think that's just such a good line.
Yeah.
Ah,
That's good. And then he beats him up.
punches him.
Shatters his weird looking glasses.
Because I'm
And
in the anime, they like milk this moment. They're like
oh,
the
I'm
whole
sure.
like tension and everything.
They always
I like
do.
how it is in the anime where it's just like one hit, he tries to block, but it's no good, and just like he smashes him
Just
into
gets
the
him.
dirt. know?
Smashes him into the ground. I didn't realize that had no idea. I was just like, look, it's a picture of Rebecca and Viola and Law. So I used it as the thumbnail for the previous VOD, I didn't know that it was this scene because you can't see anything. But I put little princess hats on their head.
Oh boy.
So yeah, but it's good. And then
the
Luffy's like,
aftermath.
I'm done now.
Yeah. I'm gonna take a nap.
For a long,
Yeah.
like several days.
And then the Marines
Yep.
show up, clean up as usual.
Yep.
I do like
But
how
the comes, yeah.
Fujiwara, right?
If
his
we
name?
Fujitora.
Yeah, if we
Yeah, he like apologizes or whatever, and they're like, "Whoa, you don't do that! Like,
I
what
guess
the heck?"
about Fujitora, because he actually turned out to be not the terrible admiral.
Yeah, I mean,
He's
they kind of
interesting.
establish him early on as like not
not
like
being-
he's kind of got like a conscience, but I like that they did that, and I do like when like Sengoku comes back and he's like retired or whatever. It's,
Oh yeah, he's just like so done with everything. He's just like, ha!
yeah,
You
he's
guys
just laughing
got
at it. I'm
screwed."
like, that dude went to the fucking ringer. Like, he totally deserves it.
Yeah.
He deserves to
Over there
be
eating
fired.
crackers with his like gorilla.
He's just chilling.
I really do like how they characterize some of the Marines. Like, I really was surprised at how like human they make some of them. Like, they just want what's best, but they're doing what they think is best. You know, kind of like, oh, it's cool. It's like really cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Oda does a good job, like in these later arcs, giving the Marines more facets as like an organization and not being like some monolithic bad guy
Yeah.
organization.
And I also love how Akainu, the
Correct.
bastard, is just like stuck doing paperwork behind his
Oh my
desk. He's
God,
like,
yes.
oh man, if I couldn't be there right now, I would, but I have
Yeah.
to be the admiral and stuck here in Marineford headquarters or whatever.
Never get tired of seeing a Kainu trapped behind a desk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got actual hell. He got a hell of paperwork.
Choke
Yep.
on your administrative work.
That is
Yeah.
actual hell though. They go and hide.
They sure do.
Yeah, for a few days, and Luffy
like-
eats and sleep.
Kinda
in
later.
Scarlet in Kairos' old home is where they're hiding.
Oh yes.
Oh,
That's where they
yeah.
go hide. They go hide. Everyone is like crying at the end of Dressrosa because their kingdom is free. Their land is free now.
And they reinstate King Riku
Yeah,
as the king.
they do.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Even though he's like, I don't deserve it, and everybody just wants him to be king.
Yeah.
Which
I think it's good for him to say he doesn't deserve it though, right? Because he had been like, oh yeah, yeah, cool, I'm king again. Like
oh yeah,
that
yeah,
would have
definitely.
been very wrong.
Yeah, and yeah, I also thought it was great that Fujitora apologizes on behalf of the Marines. and the
Yeah, it's an
government.
interesting parallel again to Alabasta, and I'm only saying this because I'm looking at the wiki right now. But this one, like the truth is actually like revealed about what the
Yeah,
situation was
I
on
get it last time.
Dressrosa, whereas like they like covered up
Yeah, they
what was
covered
going
it
on
up.
at Alabasta.
Smoker wanted to reveal it, but then they covered it up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but this
they did.
time Fujitora like publicly apologizes and like acknowledges that they like they messed up.
Yeah.
Also, Fujitora rolls a dice to basically decide whether they're going to go chase after Luffy or not.
They do.
But do you think he rigged the dice?
I don't know.
You can control gravity. Of course, you rig the dice.
Maybe he did.
Yeah, I feel like that was the implication. But they maybe would have showed it more blatantly than that.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, except until like the last day when like Tsuru, the old lady, is like, you got to do something, man. And he's like, okay, you roll the dice.
Yeah, actually, honestly, the parallel is like it's very loud because they even go show Smoker and what's her name?
Tashigi.
Tashigi, like Tashigi reacting to it. And they're like, what? Like Smoker is annoyed, like he couldn't even. He was like, he did more than I could.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's because Smoker's super beat up still. But yeah.
Yeah, Smoker has been taking nothing but L's lately. Like,
He really has. They still have all their kids from Punk Hazard.
yeah. That was cute to see though that they're getting smaller.
Yeah. Yeah, the kids are
Also,
scrappy
I
and
love
tiny.
Fujitora like basically lifts up all the rubble to try and like destroy the pirates
Yeah.
later. And one of the rubble he lift up is like Pika's lower half.
Yes.
It's just his like legs.
It's like, oh god. I guess somebody died.
Well, that's not Pika's actual body,
I
right?
know,
Like
I know. Yeah.
big old pant legs.
Yeah, his pants.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that Sabo has a conversation with all the Straw Hats, although he's like bye before Luffy wakes up.
Oh,
And he's
yeah.
like
And then like Koala is also there.
yeah, and Koala's there.
Koala, the girl from Fisher Tigers flashback.
Yep.
Mhm.
Koala.
And Robin knows them, and that means she knew that Sawa was alive the whole time. It just didn't tell Luffy.
Yeah,
Well, they didn't know Luffy's full backstory, did they?
that's true.
I don't.
True.
Yeah, I don't think.
But I think
he
at that
told
point,
them
Like, I
about
think we knew,
Sabo.
but the
Right.
Straw Hats don't. Yeah.
Well, I think Sabo definitely told Robin that he's
Oh, that's true.
Luffy's
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
that's
probably.
what he
So
did
maybe
know.
Robin was like, "This will be a fun surprise."
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's-
feel like
that'd be very
Robin
Robin
just like
to
never
do.
shares information unless she asks to. Like she doesn't do things unless she's asked to do it.
Knowledge is
She's just
power.
like,
Robin knows
"Oh,
how to keep
no."
a secret.
She does
You
know all
know.
the secrets.
I think like she'll be the type that just like, doesn't tell Luffy information, not because she doesn't want to, but because like she's like, I'll figure it out eventually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Luffy's the type
From the
that's
very
like,
first time she showed up, was she like loves messing with Luffy. So
Mhm.
and also like Luffy's the type who's like, tell me where the One Piece is. I want to find it for myself.
Yeah, I want to find
Yeah.
out for myself. Yeah. But yeah, I guess Sabo like he like had amnesia after his getting blown up moment.
getting blown up's really bad for you.
It's true. But after he sees that Ace had been killed, right?
Mhm.
He
Yeah, the
remembers
newspaper
everything.
article.
Well, it's that, and also a kind whose name is Sakazuki,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is a sake cup ritual.
You're right. You're right.
So
I
it's
think
like,
there was a sake cup on their graves.
Yeah.
yeah, there were 3 sake cups, so that was like the thing that
Yeah.
was notifying that he was alive. But him seeing the news that had like Ace, Luffy, Sakazuki all in like one triggered his memories to
Yeah.
come back.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't translate well to English, so some people are just like, oh, he had never heard of like Ace before this? Like, what the heck? But no, it was,
Oh,
like,
Yeah,
I
no,
see.
it
all
was,
of
it was
them
the
together
combination.
triggered it, yeah.
Well, and probably like the visceral emotion he would have had even without his
Oh, you're cutting off
seeing
there.
news of him being.
Oh yeah, I gotta turn. I'll just turn you up. I feel like some people. There we go. Turned up.
But yeah, you're right. Possibly his own trauma of like getting blown up, and almost dying too.
Yeah. It's true. It's
Uh,
true. I mean, after that, yeah, like the whole. We already talked about it, but like the actual army comes, or the Marines come, and they're like, we gotta get these pirates, but everyone in Dressrosa is like helping the Straw Hats get off the island,
Yeah.
so they can escape.
Yeah.
Which is nice. It's very cute. I like it, and kind of seems like Fujitora didn't really want to catch them anyway.
Yeah, strikes me as like lawful neutral. Like he's got his own code, and it may not
Yeah.
always line
Oh,
up
Luffy
with.
does want to like go beat him up, and then
Yeah.
they're like, "No, you gotta get out of here,
Gotta
dude."
go, bro. Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah, he
Luffy.
definitely. Fujitora seems like the type that just wants to like observe Luffy, just like
Yeah.
wants to see how
I
that
love the
goes
line
down.
He says, like after Luffy is calling out his attacks because Fujitora is blind, Fujitora is like, but I'm not blind because of an accident. I'm blind because I saw too many ugly things in this world.
Yes.
Oh
Maybe
yeah.
I should have kept it a little longer so I could see your
Galaxy
face.
Oh
brain.
yeah, that was.
Because I bet it would look mighty kind.
Yep.
I guess. Yeah. He's
Luffy-
Luffy kind.
Again, Luffy embodying freedom, like just being like, Luffy merely makes me want to see the world. Like,
Yeah.
it's cool.
Yeah, it is nice.
But then they leave.
Uh-huh. And they have help from all these other gladiator pirates.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
and there's the fleet.
The Grand Fleet, yes.
Yeah.
Fleet.
Form the fleet.
Oh yeah, it's like you control this. Luffy's like, nope.
Yeah, I love that he's like, I don't want to do that. It'll cramp my style.
They're like,
That
take
sounds like too much
it, you
trouble.
stupid savior. Like, we want to join you. Let us join you, savior.
He's like, stop, leave, go
That was-
away.
Yeah, that was genius too. Like
And
what
then
how
Zoro
in
comes in and is
character
like,
him.
oh, if you won't drink the sake for the ritual, then I'll drink it.
He's
Like,
like,
I'll
"I'll
look
do
good.
it."
Hey man, sake is sake.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love this idea. They just like don't get it. Like Luffy's just kind of like, yeah, no, that doesn't sound very fun. Like I'm just doing it. That's such a good line too, where it's like, but you're gonna be king of the pirates. He's like, that's not what being king of the pirates is about. And they're like, what do you think being king of the pirates is about? And he's like, just doing my own thing. And it's like, damn, that's
It's
so real.
freedom.
I don't want to be some big god. I just want to be the king of the pirates.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't.
everyone can be king of the pirates.
Yeah. Yeah.
He just wants to be free.
Another thing where it's like, once everyone has the ability, if he's like spreading that thing around, like spreading that kind of stuff around, once everyone has the ability to be king of the pirates, or have the super cool hockey, it's like, then does anyone have it anymore? Like,
Oh.
Mhm.
yeah,
If everyone's super, no one.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
Side comment. What did y'all think of Barto's ship?
Oh yeah. Well, it looked like
Going
Luffy
Luffy.
Going Luffy. Yeah.
It's
The
perfect.
going Luffy
so silly.
senpai.
Oh
I
yeah,
love
yeah.
how
And then
all
he
of
gives
the-
his
Him.
signatures too.
I love how
And
all of his
for
crewmates are also like
me.
hyper fans.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's great. I liked it.
Part.
Yeah.
Also at the
But also,
end. Sorry, go ahead.
gets so you'll see a lot of the times Luffy is associated with the number 56. He gets like, what was it, like 5,600
Mm-hmm.
people to join the fleet in total. 56 in Japanese can be like read as like go mu.
Oh yeah, go.
Gomu.
That's why
Oh,
it's 56 all the
I was
time.
trying to
when you
work
see
it out in my head. I didn't get there yet.
Well, because
That's
usually we think
stupid.
of six as Roku, but
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Moo is the other way.
the pun.
It's a pun.
Mutsu.
Wow.
That's great. At
Oh, it
the
is a genius.
very end, they finally introduce at least the appearance of Kaido. What did we think of that?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, with the
Oh
news.
yeah, they show him jump from the thingy or
Rel,
whatever.
you've been kind of quiet for a little
Yeah,
bit.
Rel, what do you think?
What's up? No, I'm just vibing. I'm listening.
He made his cameo.
Yeah. Or I guess, what do you think of everything?
Yeah,
Dressrosa.
Kaido.
With Kaido and Luffy
Dressrosa.
projecting the crew.
Nice to see his train of thoughts every once in a while. Besides meet or no or I want to do this or let's fight or let's It was nice. I liked the seeing the colors scene with Fujitora. I would have liked to have seen what color he sees Luffy as, if
Yeah.
possible.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't make or break it, but I'm just so curious. He's just like he would rather see, but what does he see right now? Is he is he something he can't see? Is he too bright? Is he nothing? Is he a storm? Is he made of gold because of the D and the and stuff like that, or is he red because of the whole other part of D? Or you know what I mean? Like there could have been so many foreshadowing moments you could have made with just that clarification, because it was not only a circumstantially different type of Navy admiral, but it was somebody who literally saw from a different perspective. So I was just like, it'd been cool to see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think we've missed a couple things in Dressrosa to finish off before we talk about Kaido, though.
Yeah.
Because Law does basically break out from the rest of the group to go talk to Sengoku
Oh, right.
about Corazon,
Yeah.
because Corazon was basically like Sengoku's prodigy and son.
Yeah.
Like a son to him, not his actual son. But I like how Sengoku basically says don't try to think of him as having any sort of ulterior motive for saving you. He saved you because he loved you, and
Yeah.
that could be enough. He's not like Doflamingo, who's only keeping people around who are useful to him. Corazon just loved you. That's it.
Yeah, I wrote that line
Yeah.
down because I thought it was very sweet.
And then with Luffy and Rebecca, he does end up busting Rebecca out so that she can finally live with Kairos, because Kairos is like, I'll just live alone. She shouldn't be associated with me because she's supposed to be a princess. And he's like, I don't want that. I don't want to be a princess. Viola can be the princess.
Mm-hmm.
I want to live with my dad. And then he finally can touch her with his actual hand, because he never got a chance to when she was a baby,
Yeah.
because he would wear gloves, and then he turned into a toy. He can finally touch her.
Yeah.
That was nice, at least. That was a nice emotional.
Yeah.
I just
It's
felt like I had
nice.
more.
A little bit of fluff.
I got more time.
I was not invested in that part of the story, unfortunately. Right? I was just kind of like, I don't really care for her. But
Their
yeah,
ending was like a nice little bit of fluff
Mhm.
amidst all
Yeah.
the like lore repercussions that we're all like trying to grapple with at the same time.
Yeah.
yeah,
And the people, like, apparently for the whole time they all knew that, like, Scarlet and Kairos had eloped. But it was just like an open secret.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
And
I think that's actually.
yeah, and then the
really-
fairies actually announced that they exist, and then they basically replaced the toys, and
Yep.
now they're the ones helping around town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cute.
Yeah.
Because they're helping around town,
Mhm.
and now they head to Zoe. Yeah.
And we see Kaido. We see Kid, Apu, and Hawkins and Killer.
Yeah.
4 of the other supernovas.
For a brief moment.
Yeah.
Well, we see him because like Kaido falls down like by them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't Uruj up there like with Kaido, and he's just like,
Yeah.
oh, what is happening?
It's like, what
And then
is
Kaido
this
just
guy?
kind of just like yeets himself.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
BRB.
Yeah, he fall guyses himself down
Yep.
onto the
Bye.
ground. Yeah.
And he's still alive. As he
Yeah,
falls.
and he's like, oh man, I survived.
Like, okay, sure.
It's time to
What a
take over the
way.
world now.
Yeah, it was a pretty iconic entrance.
I do
Yeah.
like those are your 2 options: fall from the sky and maybe die, or take over the world.
Yeah. What do you guys think of Kaido? We'll finally get a look at this guy.
He's real big.
yeah.
You know.
Big boy, confirmed.
Eek.
Eek. I don't
Pretty
know.
scary looking.
Yes, a little scary.
Pretty cool
looking.
way to like introduce the emperors. Like you really don't see them much besides like I guess Shanks, right? Like
Yeah.
Even that, we hardly see Shanks.
yeah, who is the 4th? Wait,
Well,
Blackbeard.
Blackbeard, yeah.
Blackbeard. Yeah, Blackbeard. Yeah,
Listen. Yeah, he replaces Whitebeard.
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, because we don't really know what like Big Mom and Kaido look like, but they're, and I really like how much they talk about him,
Mm-hmm.
Kaido, like leading up to all this. It's like, oh, when you finally meet him, like, oh, that's why he's like, people call him like
he's been
invincible
captured so
and
many
like,
times, and he's been hanged.
Yeah.
But the rope breaks every time.
They did a good job giving him and Big Mom like looming, like off just off page, like looming menacing presence, and you're like, oh boy,
Yeah.
when I get to them.
That's true.
I still think it's crazy now that we know like Big Mom's gonna be like the next thing that they mentioned Big Mom and Thriller Bark. Like
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is insane how much foreshadowing they have. Like, oh
they go
my
way
god.
back.
Yeah, it was a long
Yeah.
time ago at this point. Oh,
Or actually, the first time they mention the names Big Mom and Kaido are actually post Enies lobby.
oh,
Garp says, "Oh, there's like the 4 emperors," and that's
Yeah.
the first.
oh, he lists them. Yeah.
We haven't actually like,
Mhm.
yeah, they were just listed, and then designs weren't even like set in stone yet.
Yeah.
The silhouettes of like Kaido and Big Mom there are just like complete random, like.
Yeah, but it's
Barely
interesting
a
that like,
thought in his head.
oh, okay, so yeah, we keep talking about it. I was gonna say like, oh yeah, I just forgot that was one of Big Mom's daughters that you met in Thriller Bark, which was
Yep.
another plot point in a little bit. So I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
huh.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
speaking of a plot point, when they're on their way out, the new wanted posters.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so cool because that's where I stopped reading for like a week. Was that
Uh-huh.
chapter? Because I thought that was a good spot where you like see the wanted posters, like, oh, cool, new images, and they're like, why is Sanji just say alive? And I'm like, oh, I'm like,
Yeah.
I also love all of the autographs that the Straw Hats threw
Yeah.
for Bartolome.
Yeah.
They're so
Yeah.
dumb. Like, why
Yeah.
did you throw a chicken, Robin?
Robin's
Because
cute like
Robin
that.
messes with people.
Yeah, I know.
yeah, it's just weird.
And Luffy just wrote me.
Yeah. He's like me,
Me.
and then I think Zoro wrote sword.
Yep. He wrote
Yeah,
sword.
that's
Like,
like
I
One
mean, if you
Piece's
think
sword.
about it, in this world, like the concept of an autograph, like
Oh, totally. You're
like
totally
doesn't
right.
exist. Like we've never like seen
Have
like
we?
celebrities being a thing.
Have we ever established that Zoro can read?
No.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe that's why he gets lost all the time. He can't read a map.
He can't read at all. Well, he can read
Yeah.
numbers.
Can't even read.
That's true.
Yeah.
And he
so
can
maybe
count.
read, and he can
Yeah,
count.
but like they're pirates. They don't have to be literate.
You're right. You're right.
Hey, can Luffy read? I feel like they've established that Luffy can't read.
Nami and Robin might be the only ones who can read.
Chopper
Sanji.
can probably
Oh yeah,
read.
Chopper
I
can
could
read.
definitely. And oh no, come on, Frankie.
can
Frankie's
too.
got to know how to
Oh
read.
yeah. Everybody who
Sanji
had
would
to
be
read
that.
for their character training arc, is able to read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally
Is it just-
Zoro and
Just Zoro and Luffy who can't read.
Yep. Yep.
maybe Chopper.
No,
Chopper's
Chopper had
got
to
it.
read.
Chopper got it.
Yeah,
I didn't
he
see
loves
the
training.
bookstore. Yeah.
Oh yeah, true. What am I saying?
He
Yeah.
just like
I forgot how many of them, like,
Chopper's bounty
read.
doubled. Can you believe it?
Yep.
It went from 50 to 100.
I forget how many of
Yeah,
them just have
they're-
like reading for 2 years straight as their training arc.
Yeah. Reading for 2 years straight.
What a dream.
But yeah, that was pretty fun that they all have new things. I like that one when they showed Nami's like, when did she take that picture? Like, it's just
She's posing.
Nami continues to have the best.
Yeah. She's
Yeah.
just very
I mean, I
It's
love,
kinda-
I love Nico's. It's just so
Yes.
cool and mysterious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The women get the
I-
aesthetically appropriate wanted.
I think it's
On
cool
Frankie's
that.
brand.
Frankie's mad because he's somehow lower than Usopp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but
God,
Usopp's like,
Constant, the constant dick measuring in the crew about who gets the who has higher bounties is always
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then like Frankie's isn't even him; it's the General Frankie robot.
It's not actually
Yeah.
him.
We
Yeah,
just
like,
want the robot. We don't care about the cyborg.
Mhm.
That's good for him though, actually.
As if he would turn it over.
Yeah. Yeah, and I
Yeah.
guess Choppers went up.
God,
like,
Usopp.
Not really at all.
Yeah.
It's 100.
Oh, we doubled. That's the highest percent
Yeah.
bounty increase we've seen,
Yep.
percentage-wise. But
Mhm.
isn't Brooks just like his posters,
Yeah.
like his
Yeah,
band
it's
posters,
just-
or
Yeah,
whatever?
his
Yeah.
concert flyer.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's great.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess that is like the end because the next chapter is called Zoe, so that's probably a good spot to end and give our last impressions of Dressrosa.
Oh, yeah.
And then, well, do we want to do that before we go on a small break or now?
Yeah, let's do our slug and star rating.
Okay.
So for Leah and anyone who doesn't know, it works like this. Star rating is what we personally feel about the arc.
Mhm.
Slug rating is objectively how much we would recommend this arc for
Mhm.
people.
And it's out of 10 points.
Yep.
Kind of getting hard to not recommend, so we just kind of do like objective, like.
Yeah,
it's
it's like
objectively, like how well was this arc written
Yeah.
versus how much we
Yeah.
enjoyed it. So star is how much we enjoyed it. Slug is how much like objectively we feel like it was done well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially in the grand scheme of things, now that we know everything, like. Who wants to go first?
I guess I can go first. It's been a bit. I think my personal rating, my star rating for this arc is like, it's still an 8. I think it was an 8 before, and I think it's still an 8. Like, it's really solid. I enjoyed reading it. It does get really, really busy at the end, though, where I was like, oh my gosh, who's fighting who?
Mhm.
I could even tell occasionally on panels, even when I switched over to the digitally colored version.
Yeah.
But I still like that it introduces so much to the world. Like the flame fruit's back in the world, Sabo's back. Fujitora's like a good marine. It's been a while since we've had a good marine.
He's a decent one.
A
Yeah.
reasonable marine.
There you go. That's the best word.
And what's his? Doflamingo is a really, really cool villain. And I liked watching his villainy, and Law's backstory was cry. So yeah, overall it was a good time. I think objectively, I think it's like an 8 too. Maybe like an 8.5. I'll give it like an 8.5. Because I think objectively it's very important, and it is still a good time. I have heard from many people, not just you all here, that the anime drags on for forever. So just read this. It's not that long. I mean, it's long, but you can just read it in one go.
It's solid 6 hours, not a big deal.
Yeah,
Just
whatever.
binge the manga.
Yeah. So yeah.
Could I go next so I
Yeah,
can go to
sure.
the bathroom?
Sure.
All right, perfect. So I think we were all along the same lines at about like 7.5, 8 for the first part, Dressrosa. I would say it worked out well. I would say it worked out slightly better than expected, but not outside of the expectations. But I think that's just because like it's been like solid throughout the story. So I would give both. I'd say I think I was something weird at like 8.25. I'll raise it to 8.5 for both of them, just because I thought they were just like I don't know. It was unique backstories to the country. It had everybody involved. I mean, it was awesome. And he had those like fairly nice moments between everybody, and I don't know. It didn't innovate, but it really never had to. I thought it was just like a pleasant story to read throughout. So 8.5 for both.
I will say, okay, I'll go next. I will say that I kind of disagree with it not innovating. While a lot of the themes have been done before, I think that the story structure and like how many things were just like piled on into this arc was kind of a new thing that we did here. It was a pretty big challenge for sure. And I think with the amount of stuff that were put in, I would objectively, slug rating, also give it an 8. I think there were parts that could have been improved for sure. But overall, like it was still very readable. You still had a good idea of what was happening. It could have been like an entire mess of like a jumble of like who's where at all times. But I think they still put it together. I would have put it together very well. And star rating, I think I'll also give it an 8 or an 8.5. 8.25. There we go. It was good. I really enjoy this arc. I think a lot of the hate that this arc gets is due to the anime and due to just how dreadful it feels to read this type of arcs weekly, and how much like the pacing suffers when it's going weekly when you're trying to have fast-paced battles. But I think that reading it all together, it is very enjoyable and it's a very fun arc. And we see a lot of like new stuff, new developments for both Luffy's power and his status in the world with the Grand Fleet.
Yeah, I think I'll piggyback since I'm also the other one who's caught up. Unfortunately, since I did not read all of this or reread all of this in one go, my ratings will be colored by the experience of having read it week to week and it being rather hated in my memory. I think I'm also going to unfairly compare it to arcs after because I don't know how to separate them in my mind. But I think I'll give it a star rating, or yeah, like my personal rating from when I was reading it at the time. Like there were some really, really hype moments, and having been reading it week to week, like the payoff of finally getting to see some of that stuff, I think was really, really big. So I'd give it an 8.5 with like my personal enjoyment of the arc at the time, even with like how it dragged. It felt like it was dragging towards the end. But I think the slug rating, like the more objective rating, in the grander scheme of like thinking on all of these different arcs, I'm gonna be a little harsh, I guess, and I'm gonna give it like a 7.
That's not harsh.
That's not that hard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay, compared to everybody else, like going no lower than 8.
Well, I don't have.
I mean,
yeah,
we rate like Long Ring Long Land like a 2 or
Yeah.
something.
Okay.
Like
You should have heard my opinions on Fishman. I know.
Well, okay, well this is like One Piece. I'm a usually pretty generous rater, like because I do let my own enjoyment. I like color a lot of my reviews, so like I rate like everything 4 stars if I hate it, basically. But like, trying to separate the rating into like enjoyment versus objective. I think like with how big it was and how messy it got later on, especially with it being week to week and him and Oda like struggling to progress like all these different plot elements and threads like each week, or having to leave behind, or things getting messy. Like I think it's like worth a downgrade. And since I compared it to that came afterwards in my head, like I do think he improves. Like I think he realizes like where he kind of fell short in that arc, and I don't think that has that problem on.
Yeah.
So that's another reason why I think I'm maybe a little bit like I'm willing to give it a slightly lower rating objective.
I feel like this arc is kind of like a buffet with a lot of stuff, but the good the good dishes are kind of like on one side of the buffet.
Yeah.
Kind
And
of
like
balanced.
it's such a big, like overstuffed buffet that you can kind of
Yeah.
lose sight of what was good in it.
Yeah.
So because that's what I'm feeling as I
Sure.
tried to like recall everything during our discussion,
Yeah.
is like so much of it was that y'all were talking
And this
about
is only
was just, like,
half of
lost.
it too. Yeah.
Well, but even like the latter half is like the big, like the biggest battles, like fights
Uh-huh.
and the biggest lore drops and stuff. So like a lot of that should have been like coming back to me, and I was just like, oh yeah, that was like in that arc. Like it's not that I forgot it entirely, but I was like, oh yeah, that was in Dressrosa, because like so much was in Dressrosa.
And I think definitely like things like the Rebecca plot line are
Like yeah, I
weaker
remember
dishes in
Rebecca
this big buffet.
exists, but yeah, like I forgot a lot about her.
Yeah.
So I guess I don't know if this is harsh, but like harsher, I guess, compared. But I think like star, right? It's not objective.
Yeah.
My personal rating is like a 7, definitely like a solid 7 out of 10. Like I like it, but it is. I think I'm learning that I enjoy the more concise stuff a little bit more in One Piece, just generally. So this is just a
Totally
little too
fair.
messy. Yeah, it's just too much going on, and it's hard to be as invested when you're just kind of like, oh my god, like I want to get back to this part that I'm interested in, or it's all over the place. But like
Yeah.
objectively, it's still really good. Like it's still really well written. And I remember saying this in the first part of the arc. I'm pretty impressed with how much Oda can write at once, and like how it kind of still is to follow. So I was a little disappointed that as it went on, I was like, oh, this is getting harder to follow. Maybe Oda was a little in over his head with this. Like,
Yeah.
because
The problem with
it's just
too
a
many
lot.
POVs is it takes longer to get back to the POVs you actually like.
Yeah, which it's smart sometimes where it's like it makes sense on why he cut the Straw Hats in half. Like that's a really smart idea. Like because that would have been really crazy. Like he had it sort of planned, but like maybe you should have dropped some of the plot points. Maybe there's one too many, like gladiator guys.
Yeah, because
really
he kind
wanted
of
to
replaced the Straw Hats with the gladiators.
Yeah, and like it spends so much time. I think that's one thing that made like from comparative to like something like Alabasta. Alabasta spends a decent amount of time with like Crocodile and Luffy interacting, but like Doflamingo and Luffy don't interact that much. Like they interact to fight a few times, and it gets Luffy mad, and then he just like punches him and wins. Like that's like the crux of it. And it's like you have to be really invested in like the people of Dressrosa and like the side stories with Rebecca and her dad and everything. I just like wasn't enough. Like I wasn't invested enough to really like thoroughly enjoy it like that. So it doesn't hit the highs that I've had before. So it's like a 7 out of 10.
It's not like Vivi because we've like traveled with Vivi before.
Yeah. That was what made it so smart with Vivi, is like you gave a shit before the arc even started. It's like that's so cool. And it was way more organized, but it's way more concise and Alabasta in my opinion. But then objectively I could see it being like an 8 out of 10. Like I could see someone just being like, oh, this was hype, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on, like that's cool. And like it all gets wrapped up pretty well, and like the stakes are high. Sometimes in shonen when the stakes are high, I don't really care because I know everything's gonna be fine in the end. So like I'm just kind of like, yeah, you didn't need to do all this. Like when the stakes are smaller, sometimes it makes like the situation feel more personal. So I don't know. 7 out of 10, and then 8 out of 10.
I understand that. I honestly feel like thinking back on it, like God Usopp really like made the arc.
That is the best part. Yeah.
But yeah.
And like the backstory, and it is weird though, because if I had to like criticize one more thing, it's weird how it was like really law focused until his backstory, and then just he's like very MIA. Like it's very strange. I'm like it just kind of switches to like Luffy's thing, which makes sense. Yeah, it's like okay, like I like law, like, and then he has this little like moment at the very end where I thought that was where I realized it was when Sengoku or whatever is talking to him about Corazon. I was like, I feel like that was such a long time ago. I haven't really even like talked about that backstory since then. Like
that's like Law not wanting to be the main character though.
Yeah, no,
he's like, let's not make this about me, guys.
Yeah, I felt like it was gonna be Law's arc, and then it just completely switched focus, and I was like, oh interesting.
Like it was his arc for like a hot minute.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right. If it was like Law and Luffy working together to finish him off, that would have felt more like,
Yeah, and they kind of do, but like not enough. It wasn't like it was definitely more Luffy's show at the end, which is fine, but you know.
I think it's like, Luffy as this like icon of freedom.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and getting to
Freeing
show off
Law
Gear
and
4.
Rebecca and Bellamy and all these people.
Yeah. Also, I don't. Gear Force cool, but I'm not like. I think
Well, it's
nothing
like-
has hit the height.
That's fair. That's
It's
fair.
sort of
A
like
lot
it's
of
showing off Gear 4 and then like how to like it'd be hard to work like he would have to work if they were gonna fight together, like working Law's like role in the fight alongside like Luffy debuting Gear 4. Like
Yeah.
maybe just like Oda just didn't know how to choreograph the fight, and so he was just like, well, we're gonna let Gear 4 be the spotlight.
Yeah. I don't think anything tops Gear 2's introduction. Like that is like the coolest
Gear 2's
introduction. Yeah.
is so good. But I will say, you're not alone in not liking Gear 4. When this arc first started and people saw Gear 4 for the first time, they were like, "What the fuck is this? He looks so ridiculous.
What is this
Why is
goofy
he
ass?
fat?"
He does look like a goofy ass here.
I think it's
Yeah.
Gorilla
cool.
Man.
I think it's kind of cool. It's like a very unconventional looking like power up for an anime, but like
Yeah.
it really doesn't do anything like super. It's like cool that he can do this thing with his hands, but couldn't he just do that like anyway? Like
Well, he
why
can
couldn't he just
fly.
like do that
Yeah.
like not like can fly? Yeah, I guess it just feels like it's a weird power up for.
It's like a
what
more
he's doing.
intelligent use of his power, I think.
Yeah.
Right, because
Yeah,
one thing
it's
that
like-
because Doflamingo just tried to like stab him with his like athlete's foot or whatever.
Right.
Achilles heel.
All right, we can talk about
No,
this more.
his kick is called
Oh, God.
athlete.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
like so like his
Dear
rubber
God.
body is now like still rubbery, but also has the armament hockey.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. So like it
Which
was
is more durable.
and it's why he struggled to develop Gear 4 was
Yeah.
because like it was like the conflicting like power of like the hockey with his like rubbery body. And yeah, like just him like it was him developing like a more intelligent way of using his like abilities rather than like the previous 2 gears just being like
Yeah.
I make my
Yeah, I
blood
just think of
fast
him as,
and
like,
like
a
I
big
make my
ol', like,
arm big.
like a big old tire.
I
like
gotta-
a big,
I'm not-
Yeah.
Can we take the
Rubber
break really
tire.
quick?
Yeah,
I use
yeah,
the
we can-
Oh
bathroom.
yeah,
yeah, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I was like
I
waiting.
only
I was like,
feel-
I didn't want to butt in. Okay, we're gonna go on break for a few minutes, enjoy the cool beats while we're gone,
Alright.
and then
And
we'll
we'll
talk
talk
about
about
stuff.
that.
See ya.
Yeah.
All right, hello everyone. We are back. We are back from break,
Yay.
and we have a small arc to cover in relative to Dressrosa.
A lot
anyway.
happens in it though.
Barely
a lot
even an
happens.
What happens to it though?
Mhm.
Or in it.
Before we even get to Zoe, we have Gambia, the missionary on Barto's ship, like trying to figure out how to like sail and how to navigate.
Oh my gosh, it was so
Oh,
relatable
yeah.
Like-
though. Like I don't know
They're
what
like,
I was doing,
Wait,
call ground.
what?
Grandma. And then she's like, "Oh, you can use the ice to get the gum that's stuck on the ship off."
I'm
Like, oh,
sorry.
great.
What? This is not something I remember.
Yeah.
So it's randomly
right at the beginning.
hailing because Nami's not there and she's a navigator. And then they're like, "Bartolomeo, how have you people even survived this long?"
Oh yeah.
And then they just call his grandma on their little Mushi, and
Yeah.
she's like giving them folk wisdom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't paying that much attention because Nami wasn't there.
Oh, I also like that at this point, Frankie and Robin are wearing like matching shirts. It's very cute.
Yeah.
It's so cute.
Yeah.
But
The
yeah.
The one
Parents.
acceptable ship.
Oh yeah, it's probably because they're they don't have they're not on their own ship, so they don't have their clothes.
Yeah, they don't have their clothes, so they're borrowing
Aw.
clothing.
Yeah.
but it's still cute. But yeah, Luffy's like, "Oh my God, Nami, save us! We're gonna die!" It's funny. And they
Yeah.
fight like an iguana
Yeah.
in the ocean.
hmm
Uh,
And apparently Zoe is not trackable using a log pose. They are using a Vivere card that Law has.
Correct.
mhm,
So,
to track it. Yeah.
mhm.
They also bring up this character that says they're the son of Whitebeard.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Oh my god.
Edward
Forgot about that.
Weevil.
Edward Weevil.
Okay, what do you guys think? Is he the son of Whitebeard? He has
I
the
hate him.
mustache.
I hope not.
I
He's
don't
a
know.
loser.
Yeah, like I don't
That is
even
odd.
whether he is or not doesn't even matter because I hate him regardless.
So
I do-
Leah, I will tell you
is that
then that you just know that eventually Oda's gonna do something that makes you love this man, right?
I
No.
hope not.
I hope not. The yeah, also, is he the first character we see with over a billion?
Over a billion? He has a million.
He has a billion. No,
Is
I
he
thought he was a
billion?
billion.
I can screenshot it for you. It says
There's
480
I don't
million.
think. Yeah. And
Yeah.
besides, he's one of the seven
Checking the
warlords, so they don't have
wiki.
actual bounties because they're not being hunted.
Oh, he has a,
Yeah,
it's a
it's
former bounty too. Yeah.
480
Yeah.
million
Yeah, no.
crossed
What did
out.
I? What did
because-
I? What did
You're,
I
you're
read?
thinking about Jack. We're talking about
Jack,
Edward
yes.
Weevil, the son of
Oh, yes, you're
the
right.
son
You're
of
right. Never mind.
Whitebeard, the guy
Another
who has his
big
like
block
old
of a
mom who's like,
character.
I am Whitebeard's lover.
That makes sense.
Gotcha.
You are
Okay,
totally his
No.
legitimate son, don't you see?
Yeah.
They like read as too comedic to become like likable characters. to me.
Yeah, the whole mom, pa type characters.
Yeah.
Or
You
just
never
like,
know.
I mean, yeah, you do never know, but like they just seem like so right offable that like I'm sure he's going to do something funny with them, but like I don't know if he'll try to pull on my heartstrings.
Oh, and then there is also a mention of Buggy, who's been basically having his own like bounty hunting business or
Yeah.
mercenary business.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh,
That's weird.
I love how like there's actual like repercussions to like them taking out Doflamingo because now his like whole drug and weapon trade is gone.
Yeah.
want to talk
So,
about Buggy so badly.
yeah, Buggy's all like,
Bug's not here.
okay, go ahead, Leah. You want to talk about Buggy?
No, like I
I'm
can't
joking.
talk about him.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you can't talk.
All
Later.
the things I want to talk about with Buggy,
Okay.
I can't yet.
When we're
but-
reading more.
But yeah, I love how Buggy like makes himself look huge.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Like,
I
his
was
new
like,
look.
well, no,
is higher.
I thought it was just the One Piece thing where people get more powerful, they get bigger.
Oh, I
It's
think
like, is he just
No.
big now?
he's just
No,
enjoying himself, right?
It's a show.
Yeah.
Like it's all
Oh.
it's
He's
all a
just
facade.
behind the
Oh my
curtains. He's like
God,
just
you're
stretching his
right.
arms out and
Yeah.
extending them.
That's
Yeah.
just
It's so stupid.
Yeah.
It's like it's like a ghost sheet thing, but like
Yeah.
his hands are at the edges of the sheet.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, I didn't
It's
even
amazing.
notice that. That's so stupid.
It's more obvious in some panels than
Yeah,
others,
it's more
but yeah.
obvious in the anime when they animate him like
Yeah.
moving
I'm
around
sure.
in this like
Oh
big
yeah,
sheet.
because he has that whole like loosey goosey way of moving with his
Yeah.
detached limbs.
That's so stupid.
That's so Buggy though, isn't
Right?
it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
love
Act
that
larger
he
than
has
he is.
persisted since like the very beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Practically.
And Alvida's still there and she still has not really done anything.
Oh my
Right,
god,
right, right.
Elvita, yeah, she's like,
Yeah.
hey girl, you're there. Good job. You're alive. That's saying a lot.
The lion guy
honestly.
got fat though. He put on some weight.
Yeah. Eventually, after
yeah, but then-
suffering.
Yeah, but then they're doing well now because without the weapons sales of Doflamingo, their mercenary business is doing well.
Mm-hmm.
But also, the giants that were actually mercenaries for them have all left because Hajruddin joined the Straw Hat.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, what did we think once everyone comes upon Zoe? What do we think of this island? Island?
Island,
Quotation marks?
quote unquote.
Uh,
I loved it. Like conceptually, I was like, oh, this is really cool.
I just
I'm
laughed.
curious what you guys think. I don't know what my first impression was.
I just laughed because I know Zoe means elephant in Japanese, and I was like, oh, that's extremely literal. Okay.
This is a series for like preteen boys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Initially
Yeah.
in its target demographic. Yeah, I didn't know that. Little fun fact.
Oh.
But I have loved elephants since I was a small child.
Oh,
so
that's
when I
great.
saw it, I was just like, hell yeah.
It's an awesome concept. I'm kind of surprised that hasn't been done yet. I was like, oh my God, that's genius. Like they've already introduced so many big creatures. It's like an island being on a creature is like, wow. Why wasn't this like a turtle or something?
Well, because lion turtles have been done.
Exactly. Why wasn't it a turtle?
Wow.
Let the One Piece be a turtle.
Because then
What's turtle in Japanese?
Well, because
Oh,
then they'd be
man.
ripping off Atla, and nobody would let
That's
like
true,
let that
that's
be
true.
forgotten.
I mean, which would also be ripping off like Discworld, which has like a world on a turtle
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
on
which
an
is-
elephant.
yeah,
that's
like
on
ripping
a-
off like what mythology. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Otis
whatever.
being different. He's not like other
Different.
girls.
Yeah, I was just saying, Oda wants to be unique. He's quirky.
His
Yeah.
island animal is an elephant,
She's
not,
not
a
like
turtle.
other girls, okay?
Yeah.
Well, do you like the elephant or do you hate the elephant?
Yes, I think the
Okay.
elephant's cool, and as you go along, the elephant becomes more cool, and I was just like, hell yeah, do your thing.
Yeah.
Zanisha element.
Yep.
Yeah. So they get there and what's his name? The guy that can draw but poorly. And he has the draw fruit.
Tanjiro.
Kanjuro.
Kanjuro, yeah.
Yeah, he draws
Thank
a
you,
pig
Wiki.
dragon, and the Straw Hats go up on the pig dragon.
Yeah, Ryunosuke!
Ryunosuke! And he's so cute. And I like that
I
Robin
just
is
knew you
just
would
like
like him.
Robin is like rooting for him the whole time.
Yeah.
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 I loved that. I was like, me too, Robin, me too.
It's those
Yeah.
little moments that you're just like you have to notice, like you have to pay attention to Robin to notice them sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Robin doesn't stand out a lot. She's just kind of in the background, but that's because she's just kind of quiet.
Yeah.
It's like it's very intentional on her part.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, she's intentionally quiet for sure.
Yeah.
They climb up. Oh God.
There's like
And then
another
a
plot
monkey
fight
falls
element.
down and like knocks down Kanjuro and Kinemon because they're being stupid.
Yes.
As they do.
Yeah, Kanjuro's just like, guess who? Because they're talking about their ninja friend Raizo,
Yeah.
who's supposed to be on this island. And
Yeah.
then they get knocked off by the monkey, and then they're like, oh, should we climb down and get you? They're like, no, we're fine. And then also the dragon is like, let me please just finish my job. I can't climb down, I'm too weak.
Yeah. And I love he like fades as soon as they like get to the top, and
Yeah.
Robin lays flowers.
Oh yeah.
And then Zoro and Law are both like, it was just a stupid fucking drawing. What are you doing?
No, it was a part of our lives. It was great.
However brief.
Yeah, and then Frankie and Usopp are like, have you no heart?
Have you no heart? Yeah. I love that there's that whale tree also on Zo. It's very cool looking.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Very cool.
It's not really explained. It's just a whale tree.
Yeah, it's just a whale tree. Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, it's really cool. I'm like Luffy, just yelling, "This is cool."
And I like how like the city is built, and like both Law and like Ramen noticed later that the city is built with the waterways in mind.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They have like
The
their little
smart people in the
archaeological
group.
moment. You know?
Yeah, it's very cool.
They do be paying attention.
They do.
But yeah, they stumble upon this like city, and they notice that the gate's been broken into. The city is in shambles and ruins, but it's fresh.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's
fresh rubble,
fresh.
fresh destruction.
And I don't know at what point, but I was like surprised because they're trying to find the other Straw Hats, and I was like, whoa, because Zoro is like, no, Sanji won't let them die, and I was like, oh wow, did he compliment Sanji? Oh my.
Well,
Yeah.
no, his
There's no way
boyfriend.
he's
Yeah, he's
telling
gonna.
them.
Yeah, he's gonna
Zoro
compliment
never
his
calls him by
boyfriend shit.
name.
Like what the
Don't
fuck?
badmouth
They're
his
married.
boyfriend.
They're never nice to each other.
Only I can badmouth my boyfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm. But also, like, you know, that's how Sanji treated Zeph too. Is
Yeah.
they were mean to each other because they love each other.
It's true. It's true. Oh my god.
Yeah, they get attacked by like cutest fucking One Piece design. This rabbit girl. I was like, Dad, what
Yeah.
the heck? I was like, where did she come from?
Cute carrot. Yeah.
It's really cute.
Yeah, she is really
What do you
cute.
think about the Island of Furries?
Minx.
Yeah, minks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
My initial impression was like, oh, furries are real. It's not just fake furries. People can turn into animals.
Yeah.
The furries still have Oda's like design philosophy when it comes to like human bodies. I'm like,
True.
god damn.
They're
Like,
humanoid.
So he draws them very well.
Okay.
Are
I
you
don't
a
know
furry
you well
Ralph?
enough
Do
to
we need
like
to
No,
talk
I
about
am-
misinterpret
this?
that.
No, I am not. I'm just appreciating a man's good design.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't you be putting labels on me.
Okay.
I mean, it's fine. You could be a furry. I don't care.
I do not wish to be.
I do genuinely like that they give the dog girl like such a dog face, like not like
Yes.
just
The
the
snout.
nose, you know, like or something. It's like a very pronounced
Yeah.
snout, which is cool. It makes it probably more difficult to like emote her and angle her
They're
and
not
everything.
like
But it looks
anime
really
cat girls and dog girls. They are actually
Yeah.
just like anthropomorphic.
I like
Yeah.
the variety of like even like just the cat and dog, like the canine and like the cat and mink. It's like
Yeah.
he uses like different kinds of cats and dogs. They're not all just like the same
Yeah.
model.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're definitely all different dogs and
Uh-huh.
cats and stuff. It's very cool.
it could probably calm down with the whole licking thing, but
Yeah.
They're still
Cartoon.
animals.
Cartoon. Yeah,
Mhm.
and they
Snuggle.
just like biting everybody. It's like, what the heck is happening? At certain points.
Or they're like biting Luffy because he's rubbery, and then they're like
Yeah.
chewing on Brook because he's bones.
Yeah, I was
Chew
like, no,
toys.
they're gonna
Yeah.
kill Brooke.
But yeah, they come in and then they see that Wanda, the dog girl,
Yeah.
is like, "Come with me. Your friend corpse is over here."
And she's wearing Nami's clothes.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they're
And
like,
they're like, what
"What?"
the heck?
You stole Nami's clothes.
Yeah.
Told her. Yeah,
Um,
Nami turns out to be fine, and she's in like quite the outfit. They find her.
Yeah.
yeah, Nami's totally fine. I will say, I
Yeah,
don't
and then
know.
when they said corpse, they were referring to Brooke. 'Cause
Yes,
he's
Yes.
a corpse.
he is a human.
Your friend is
corpse.
dead. It's like, first
No.
time?
Yeah.
First time seeing him dead?
They all start fighting, but Beppo, is that his name? Is there?
Yeah, Beppo.
Beppo is there. He's
Because
like,
it's
wait,
Beth
these
for
are
bear and
friends.
Po for polar. Because it's a polar bear.
Oh, that makes sense. Oh, the
The naming conventions.
The carrot very
Yeah.
funny. Yeah.
It's also like very good foreshadowing that like animal people have existed previously. We just never really talked about it, and now we know where they come from.
Yeah.
We thought it
Totally
was just
similar.
Oda being quirky or something, and then it's like, no.
No, this is
No.
a whole race of people.
Yeah.
And
No,
also,
they're
they
here.
did tease the name back in Sabouti on the auction house list.
That's true.
Mink was one of the
Oh.
races that was being sold as slaves
Yeah.
back in Sabouti.
Yeah. Oh wait, Wanda is also a pun. I didn't think about that. Because
Wan.
Is it?
dogs go Wan.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Is the onomatopoeia. Yeah.
Yeah. Cute. Okay. Yeah. So they.
So yeah,
oh,
so Beppo intervenes and
yeah.
mediates.
Robin identifies that like whatever befell the city happened not that long ago.
Mhm.
And it's like, what happened? They say that the one who ruined their land is Jack.
Yeah.
And also, well,
Huh?
kind of important. They mentioned that Sanji's not there.
Oh yeah, Sanji's not there.
And they also
Yeah, they're like,
showed
it's Sanji.
the rain, quote unquote. That's actually just Sunisha, the elephant bathing
Yeah.
himself.
Yeah.
That's how they get all their food and water.
Yeah.
The waterways.
He's
Yeah.
bathing himself.
The
I do like Nami appearing just like she's just sleeping on this sheep like Totoro or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
It's
just
cute.
chilling.
She's just chilling.
Did some cultural exchange.
Yeah.
I like how like Chopper has like kind of a crush moment with one
Yeah.
of
on the
the
deer.
reindeer girls.
Oh yeah.
I also like that they live in pineapple houses.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they live in a pineapple. up
so
in a tree.
weird, but also just like so weirdly fitting. You're just like, wow, yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense.
I believe it. Yeah.
Yeah.
The logic. I believe it though. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's
It's
very.
like
Um,
wacky but logical.
But yeah, they hear that Sanji left and left a note, and then he's like, he's not coming back. And It's
Yeah.
like what?
And I was like, oh, something bad must have happened because Nami's crying about Sanji. Uh-oh.
That's
And then it
really
cuts in, like,
bad must
it's-
have happened.
True.
I like how
There
it
to
cuts
cook.
from that scene where she's crying to like them having a party, and I was like, wait, what happened with Sanji?
Yeah.
It's like, wait, what happened?
But yeah,
Oh, she's not
Pretty much
coming
it.
back. Hard
I
cut
think
to
they just
feasting.
at that point they just kind of explained that he like left and like he's definitely not coming back. That's like how they word it, and it's like wait, and then I don't know when you see the letter, but I was like, but it literally says like I'll be back. And I'm like, why do they? He's not gonna be back.
Well, they
Because-
know that he's not going
Yeah.
to.
Right, because they left a note. Like the more mature people in the crew understand, like Brooke and stuff. They understand that he's leaving the note so that they don't try and go find him.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Because they know that Sanji is a very like self-sacrificing person. Because he's always been in all of these arcs. Like,
Yeah.
he's been the guy who like goes to unlock the doors when they're at Annie's lobby, or goes to like hide out before going back to rain dinners and freeing them from the casino in Alabasta. Like, he's always been like that guy who just like goes off on his own.
Yeah, he
And
is.
raises his own safety.
I'll be fine. I'm
He'll be
sure.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they go hide in like a closet to talk about it, don't they?
Yeah, and they also talk about how they shouldn't mention the samurai because apparently all the minks had been attacked and beaten up and killed because the Jack was looking for a samurai in this land.
Yep.
They hadn't no idea about. They don't know who he is. They don't know where he is, but they don't want to like trigger any trauma here or get them
Yeah.
mad.
Yeah.
And they also show Chopper working with Caesar Clown to
Oh,
like
yeah.
undo the poison gas
yeah.
that had poisoned all of the minks.
Yeah.
I
feel
always
like-
forget Caesar Clown lasts so long. I'm like, why is he still
Still
here?
here!
It's like, oh, go away. Yeah.
And he's still an asshole.
And he is still.
I can't imagine reading this week from week. I'd be like, oh my god, this motherfucker, why is he still
Yeah. There's the characters we're happy to see like Oda rummage around in the bin and then pull out of nowhere, and then there's the characters like Caesar where it's like, man, he's
I don't know.
still
I
here.
love to see Caesar because I know he always gets shit on. I love to.
Yeah.
It's a character you love to
He's fun
hate.
to
You
shit
know?
on.
Yeah, I was gonna say like he's just so dunkable.
For
Yeah,
sure.
everyone just keeps dunking on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
all
like
over and
it's
over.
like it's a really it's almost like a weirdly cute idea that he's like their first like hostage. So they
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
don't know how to act with him.
That whole sequence was so entertaining. Yes, the whole like gag of him being their like hostage.
Yeah.
They're so bad at it.
They're
Yeah.
also like forcing him to fight for them
Yeah.
because they have his heart.
Even at this point, they're just like making him help people, and it's like, we'll kill you if you don't. He's like, okay.
It's like, ah, damn it. And he was the one who made this gas and had sold it to Doflamingo, who sold it then to Kaido, and that's why
Yeah.
it's being used because Jack is one of Kaido's men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Wanda discusses why the city is in ruin, and that's because Jack went there and decided to attack all the people because he's looking for a samurai. That they're like, we don't have him. What are you talking about? Stop fighting us. But then he's like, you do, and they just fight for like several days until
And he has an elephant power too. He has the mammoth fruit.
a Zoan mammoth.
Yeah, he has the elephant fruit model Zoan.
Oh, you're right. Sorry.
Yeah, or into model mammoth or something. Whatever. He turns into a mammoth.
Yeah.
He's a mean elephant.
He's a mean
Oh,
elephant.
yeah.
Yeah, you have an elephant on an elephant.
Yep.
Wow.
It's true. But yeah, like they're not backing down until they start using the gas, the poison gas. Yeah.
Yeah, we also learned that like Zoe has two kings, one for the day and one for the night. A cat and
Yeah.
a dog. They don't get along.
No, because they're cats and dogs.
Yeah, they fight like cats and dogs.
Yeah.
But that way they can like keep up the pressure because one rules during the day and one rules during the night, so they can keep fighting day and night.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of liked the cat. Literally, just was a cat. Just acted like a cat.
Yep.
What do you mean? He was Garfield.
He's literally Garfield. He's eating lasagna.
Lasagna. I guess he wasn't
Oh,
as
was
lazy
he?
as
Yeah, he was
Garfield.
eating lasagna.
Yeah, in one panel he's like,
didn't
"Ooh,
even
I
know.
love lasagna."
I didn't even notice that. I
Yeah, it was
probably
just like a
went through
one
so
note.
Yeah,
fast.
he was eating lasagna in the bath.
I will say there were two instances while reading this time that I was reading it and I fell asleep. Like my phone hit my face and I fell
Oh, no.
asleep.
Oh.
I don't know why. I guess I was like really tired reading it a few times.
Oh.
I feel that.
Mhm.
And like I would go back and be like, when did I fall asleep? Like the last like two chapters were like a blur, and I was like, I'll reread those. But like I
Yeah.
guess sometimes I parts.
I actually think I missed the one chapter where Buggy shows up. I'll go back and read it. I don't know how I missed it, but my reader's been dumb lately.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the gas, poison, everyone is suffering, everyone is sad. But then the Straw Hats show up.
Mhm.
Well, for
Yeah.
Jack leaves.
Oh yeah, you're right. Jack leaves because they're gonna die anyway.
Oh no,
Yeah.
Jack leaves because he hears that Doflamingo got taken out, so he wants to
oh yeah,
go
I
raid
forgot.
the prison ships that the Marines had taken Doflamingo on and basically
Yeah, he wants
rescue
to, like, help
Doflamingo.
them. Yeah.
It's
Which I like.
crazy.
It's not coincidental. It's because of the actions they took.
Oh,
that,
that's
like,
true. It's
basically-
because of what Luffy did, so then they like
Mhm.
Luffy automatically. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. But the Straw Hats save the day, more or less.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And they force Caesar to clear the gas.
Yeah.
Which is good.
And he makes like an opposite gas called Roko because
Yeah.
the other one was
Yeah,
called
Koro.
Koro. It's so stupid.
It's like wow, very creative.
Yeah. He's not
Oh, what
as
a
smart.
lazy piece of shit.
Yeah.
Just amazing names happening in this arc.
Yep. But yeah, they all fight. But then everything's okay, kind of, because Chopper is great at saving people, so he helps. They all help fix all the people. I do like the appearance of Cat Viper now that I'm looking at him again. He's pretty cool.
Mm.
Let's see. I wrote so many characters say rue the day this time, but I have no context for that. I wrote it down.
Unless Caesar, I think Caesar says it.
Yeah, he says it. I think Jack says it.
Yeah.
Somebody else says it too, but I don't know who.
Probably like Kinemon or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, is that? I think that's around when you get the backstory of like, or what happened to Sanji, right?
Yeah, you do.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So Sanji is a guy.
They show how they escaped Big Mom's crew, and they all work together and combine their powers and use Caesar as like a punching bag, basically, to like launch the cannonballs back at them.
Yeah.
Big Mom's singing ship. And then there, you see a couple people on Big Mom's ship. You see this like egg gentleman, Eggman
Person, yes.
Eggman from
yes.
Spawning, and a lion guy, and Beji, one of the Capone Gang Beige, Beji,
Yeah.
the one of the
Beige.
supernovas.
Okay. Like
No, this
Buggy,
is
but like
Buggy though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because the lion guy is a mink, he knows where Zoe is, so he's able to track them. But then because he finds out that they saved his homeland, he's like, okay, we'll just take Caesar because that's what we wanted, but we won't take you, Sanji. And then Bege, Capone Gang Beige is like, yeah, no, we need him. So he like shoots the lion guy with his power because he's got the castle fruit.
Yes.
yeah.
He can just
Mini
store all of his
fortress.
gangsters inside of his body.
Yeah, I
'cause
didn't
he's a big
realize
old-
how OP
So
that fruit
creative.
was.
Yeah, it's like its own dimension inside of him.
Yeah. Yeah, he's so OP. Oh yeah, I forgot to also say that Peckham's is now on the Zoe as well. And,
Oh yeah, Peckham's is a lion guy, yeah.
Yeah,
And he also has a devil fruit power, and I'm kind of sad.
I know. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I don't think Toto's gonna like this one.
Why does such a lame character have the turtle fruit?
Well, at least he's aligned with the Straw Hats now.
That's true. At least he's a good guy, but
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't use it for anything cool. He
Yeah.
just hides in his shell.
I will say it. He has a turtle shell power.
Yeah.
But
He
he's a
has
lion.
a turtle. But he has his own fruit that turns him into a turtle.
Yeah.
I
How weird. But,
guess it would be a lion turtle, huh? That's the
Yeah.
joke.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, Sanji.
They find that Sanji and the rest of them get pulled into his castle dimension inside his body because they basically hold Chopper and Nami hostage.
Yes.
And they find out that Sanji is to be married. That's why he's being taken. His name is Vinsmoke Sanji, and he's to be wed. He's also the third son of Vinsmoke. And he's to be wed to the 36th daughter of Charlotte, which is Big
35th.
Mom's family.
Like,
35th.
holy crap, 35th.
Yeah.
Pudding.
Big
Yeah, that girl get fucking.
pudding.
Never mind.
Hey, she's called Big Mom for a reason, okay? She wouldn't be called
Okay.
Mom if it wasn't
It's the
for,
Big
you
Mom.
know,
That's
getting
true.
busy.
I guess that's true.
Yeah, but what do you guys think of this reveal for Sanji? Because we had talked about in Jaya that he's from the North Blue, even
Yeah.
though they find him East Blue.
Okay, I gotta gush by that part.
Uh-huh.
It's genius. Oh my god, like that's so smart because at the time you don't understand the world as much. So when you're learning that, you're like, oh, okay, he's from the East Blue, he's from the North Blue. Like, okay, you can just make the trip over. That makes sense. Like you grew up in Alabama. You were born in Alabama. You grew up in Texas. I don't know. But now it's like now that you understand the world more and you haven't heard that, like it's been so long. So when they bring it up again, you're like, oh yeah. How the hell did he do that?
Yeah,
Oh,
you
you
would
can't
have to
just
know how
grow up in the
big
North Blue.
Texas
I was like, you'd have to go through the Grand Line, like, and that's genius. Like that,
Yeah.
that's such a great way to like connect you with the characters. Like at the same time, they're like, oh yeah, he did say that. That's kind of fucked up now that we think about it, right?
And it shows like how
It's
much
like-
Oda has planned, and it makes us like question, like, okay, was this other stuff about Sanji also planned?
Yeah.
Because his name
Yeah.
is Sanji, San meaning three, and
Yeah.
he's the third one.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
he's just really good at planting those seeds, like with enough potential to come back and like do what he
Right,
wants with them. So,
Yeah,
Yeah, you
yeah,
can like
yeah.
you can like see that with even with like stuff we don't know, like like Usopp. Like Usopp's dad is part of Shanks' crew. Like that's a huge thing.
Yeah.
So it's like that is a little seed that he's like, well, this might be a really cool plot point later.
Mhm.
So I think that's genius. What a cool throwaway line for Sanji just kind of be like, yeah, I grew up like I was born in North Blue, but I grew up in the East Blue, and it's like, oh wait,
No, and-
Yeah,
oh, man,
Brooke
that-
points it out. Brooke is like, wait, that's a
world
huge
building.
deal. And
Yeah,
Brooke
world
also like
building,
reacts
like,
to the name
so
Vince Smoke.
seamless.
He's like, I know that name. It's like a family of killers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Uh-oh.
That's so cool that they're giving Sanji more story. Like that's
Right.
so
Especially
cool.
after
Yeah.
so long of Sanji being kind of an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited because it's like that's a great idea, and you do not have to confirm anything, but that'd be a great idea for like the finale of One Piece. Like we kind of mostly know like Nami's, but like Zoro, we know very loosely his backstory.
Oh yeah, girl fell
Like,
down
we know,
the
like,
stairs.
you- we know like the guy the down D stairs.
Yeah, down these stairs.
And then like Usopp, we really don't know a ton about. We like got like hints at his backstory, but like it was pretty brief in his arc
Yeah.
way back when. So
I
like,
mean, we actually
there's,
have never seen Nami's birth parents.
No.
Because she was
Yeah,
adopted.
that too.
I mean, like it's implied she was orphaned, like
Yeah,
in,
right,
the
yeah.
in, like
right,
the
yeah.
battlefield they found her on.
But
I think we got,
don't,
like,
I actually don't think it's very important that we ever see
That's
Nami.
the
think we
thing.
got,
Like,
like-
you don't know if it was left out because it was just like a throwaway. Like you don't like it's an assumption, a safe assumption, or
Yeah.
like if it's because he left it open on purpose to like
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know have room to come
Yeah.
back around.
Yeah, you're
it's
so
like
right.
it's like implied. Like when you meet Sanji, he's like already like a bratty, like wants to be the best cook he can be.
Little piece
So it's like,
of
okay, how did he get that way? Or like when you meet in Zoro's backstory, he's immediately like this. I want to be the best swordsman. Like I can't lose to a girl. Like why is he like that? Like is there a reason he's like that as a kid? And it's like that stuff's awesome. Like what a great idea if the finale is like completing some of the Straw Hats stories. Like oh my god, I'm so excited.
It's
Yeah.
I
You're
like I'm
gonna
not
like
gonna
this
say anything specific, but I think it's a really great arc. I think this like Sanji's backstory coming into play now and like the way Oda like chooses to write it with with this arc is just it's really well done, and it's like I said, I think he learns a lot from Dressrosa, and like I feel like he immediately applied
Yeah.
what he learned.
It's pretty neat.
Mhm.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, after that, Sanji basically says like, here, I'll write a note. I'll kick you guys out.
Well, you forgot to explain the best devil fruit power of all time, the castle fruit.
Oh, we
Was
kinda
that already
did. Only a
explained?
little
I did, yeah,
no,
we mentioned it.
you
Yeah.
mentioned it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wait, well,
I feel like
they're already sucked into the castle fruit at
Yeah.
this point.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, that's very strange.
The
It's like,
OPOP
Weird.
fruit.
It's a really weird fruit. He turns into a
Another
castle
weird
and people
JoJo
can enter inside of him.
JoJo powers.
I don't know
Yeah,
how- I don't know if I could be like,
very
yes, I
weird.
live inside my captain's body. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
That's
just
awkward.
There's a
Nobody
therapist
fights, but
in
then
there.
he's just like a miniature army wherever he goes.
Yep.
Who's the little
And, like,
mafioso
him, like,
therapist?
Holding out his hand and having like people shoot bullets out of his hand.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
It's cool. It's just very weird.
Yeah.
It's all about perspective.
Yeah. Oh, this world is weird.
But yeah, Sanji basically is like, Sanji is actually, you never give enough credit for how smart Sanji is.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Because
He's
Sanji's
very
like, I
level-headed.
noticed that you guys said only alive, so you can't kill me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
And
yeah.
He holds Caesar Clown hostage. Caesar Clown is just being like bullied all the time, and I love it.
Yep.
He's just like, you want him alive too.
Undunkable.
So yeah, you're gonna let the rest of my crew go. You can take me, but you have to take me alive.
Yeah. You have to take me alive. Yep.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
you clearly can't hurt me because clearly I'm supposed to be married in this political marriage or arranged marriage or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I shouldn't have said that to him first because he like used it to
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Actually, yeah, like, did he see his own wanted poster?
He might
I don't think he
have.
did, but I think he saw the to the wedding.
Oh,
So he realizes that, oh, they have to take me alive. They can't kill me.
okay.
Yeah. Once he
Yeah.
knew about the
Yeah.
wedding, like
Mhm.
that's why Sanji's been able to do like a really cool stuff on his own in the past, is because like he's intelligent and he's level-headed. Like he's pretty independent.
Yeah, he is.
So
Yeah.
He has all
like it's
Unlike
very
Zoro,
believable
Zoro
that
is
he would
not
throw this
that
plan
smart.
together.
No,
Yeah,
he's
the
not.
potential of such an awesome character wasted on certain scenes that are like insufferable.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Sanji could be my favorite character, but man.
Yeah, like he was
He's
actually cool in this
very-
arc. Though there were those moments where he was like, "Aren't you?" to all the furry
Yeah.
ladies.
He's
I
very
know,
stupid in
he-
one specific area.
Yep.
Yeah.
It just happens that
So
I
I
really don't
appreciate-
like it. But
Yeah.
I appreciate how I appreciate how the live action is writing. It's like obviously they're trying not to be like that, and it's like, oh,
Yes.
thank God!
Oh,
like,
live
was
action
loud.
Sanji's so good.
yeah. Also,
he's
how
really
come,
attractive too.
How come if you have the castle fruit, you can turn into a tank? I don't understand. He turns into a tank at some point.
He does do
He
that.
does,
To
yeah.
go away. I was like,
It's
okay.
a reference
They-
to Howl's Moving
told
Castle,
you.
obviously. I don't know.
Sure.
No, I
The-
told you these
the only-
Logia and Paramecia types. All bets are off. No rules.
Yeah, like
Right.
the I was gonna say the description was like, I am a castle man. I was like, what the hell does that mean?
A tank is like a moving castle, I guess.
Yeah, I guess he's
Like,
a moving
yeah,
castle.
I don't know. He's like a fortress.
Sure. Whatever.
No, he's a castle man.
Modern
Whatever.
castle. A tank is like a modern castle on wheels.
Yeah.
Sort
That is not true at all, but okay.
My car is a castle on wheels too. Then I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, if Buggy can turn into a car, then we're fine with
Yeah.
this man in the car.
So yeah, after that we actually meet Cat Viper, and he is Garfield, and he's sick because he got beat up.
Yeah, and he's missing a paw. He's got a nub.
Yeah.
But he's still
Oh,
just
yeah.
moving around like nothing happened.
He's
I didn't
missing
even
a
notice he was
paw.
eating lasagna. That's so funny.
Oh, yeah, we totally missed that we meet the Dog King first, the Dog Storm. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and they sleep and wake up at like opposite times, so
Yep.
they always have like somebody on duty, kind of.
Yeah,
Yes,
and so they don't see each other.
other.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they talk about Germa, but it's weird.
I do
Sorry.
remember it being like, it was kind of a big leap. Like, it was a little hard to wrap our heads around at first. Like,
Yeah, Germa 986 is in One Piece,
Yeah,
guys.
Germa 66, 96?
yeah, 66.
66.
986.
5, I think.
986.
cares?
There
Ah!
are numbers
streamer man.
after the words.
Streamer
Whatever.
man.
And Nami says it's not real.
66.
But I guess
Wiki says 66. 66.
We're making a joke about the streamer named Germa.
I know.
Oh, I don't. That's like one piece of pop culture I completely missed.
That's fine.
I used to watch some like all its TF2 stuff.
I
Oh,
like
Yeah,
his
me
story.
too.
It was cool.
Never been. I didn't
I-
even like know who he was until like last year.
I just know everybody always says anybody ever looks like Germa, it feels like. But
Yeah,
He's a fun.
Germa is just like
he's
a
a funny
mythical
dude.
internet gremlin, I
Yep.
feel like.
yeah.
He's a myth.
He's
not
a
real.
funny
Cryptid.
dude. Yeah.
He's a cryptid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's an STP.
But yeah, that's the organization, like with the black mafia warmongers,
Like,
Yeah.
family of killers. Yeah,
Definitely
Yeah,
not
and
like
then,
a
like,
traditional
Nami is
mafia,
like they're not
Peggy.
real, and then people are like, no, they are very real.
Yeah, they're so real.
They're like a crime crime syndicate family.
Well, let's
Sorta.
not tell them what they are. We can just like have them assume stuff.
Well, I mean, like there's like
I
mafia.
kind of explain it.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
does say that they're an
And
org,
then-
like a
Borough
Yeah.
Quartz. Two.
organization family thing. Yeah, mafia.
I'm trying to remember like how much imagery there was along with the description.
There's
Not
none.
There
Not
was-
too much.
There was
Fine.
nothing.
Okay.
They just kind of
Okay.
said it. Yeah.
Okay, then yeah.
No. And Peckham's is like once Sanji gets married, he won't be a straw hat anymore. And
Yeah,
Luffy's
Luffy
like,
initially is just like, yeah, he can bring his wife on board. We'll have a new crew member.
Yeah,
yeah.
that was funny. He's like, yeah,
And they're
not
all
something
just
I
like,
would do, but like,
Luffy.
yeah, I guess he can come.
Mm-hmm.
Luffy, you sweet summer
Cute
child.
idea.
Oh yeah.
It's like a cute idea. Like
Zoro
somebody
is
gets married and they just
vaguely
join it.
jealous.
Angry, jealous.
I don't think he's jealous. I think he's worried. He's like sitting
He's
outside,
worried,
and
yeah.
then Luffy's
Yeah.
like, "You're worried about your lover, aren't you?" And he's like, "No."
No.
Angry
I don't
anxiety.
care about him. Yeah. Oh yeah, he is sitting right outside. You're right.
Yeah.
Oh, he was worried. So like not Sanji. Luffy decides I'm gonna go get Sanji back because I can't say their names anymore. Apparently, he's like I'm gonna go by myself because the rest of you don't need to get involved because there's lots of stuff going on in this world.
Yeah, and then Law's just like, what do you mean? We have to like take out Kaido. And then Zoro's like, what do you mean? We already started this fight with Kaido.
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah.
And you're gonna pick a fight with Big Mom? Like, what are you doing?
He's like, damn it, Luffy, you're trying to do too many things.
Yeah.
I know. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna go save Sanji.
Zoro does bring up a good point of like the emperors aren't like a far off threat anymore. Like they are very real and they're like on our doorstep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oda does a really good job of transitioning the emperors from like this vague like threat to like being very much like an immediate issue now.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Been a pretty slow burn, but it's like
Especially
always
with
cool.
like Jack being one of Kaido's guys and like Big Mom's people now. We're like meeting up with them with like Peckham's and Capone.
Yeah, and there's like a connection. Now there's like a direct connection to the Straw Hats and Big Mom's family with Sanji. So it's like, oh, and you kind of know now, like even now it's like, well, Luffy's gonna pick a fight with Big Mom. Like, there's no way.
Yeah, he's already done it in Fishman Island.
Yeah.
He's already.
Yeah. So,
Did you ever think a wedding was going to be the point of meet the meet cute between the Straw Hats and Big Mom?
Luffy's gonna crash the wedding and be like, I object.
Do you think Sanji's getting catfished?
Oh my gosh. That'd be hilarious.
I remember that being such a thing. Everyone was discussing like once we found out, they're like, "Oh my god, like who is Pudding? Like is she gonna be ugly? Is she gonna be really pretty? Like is he gonna love her? Is he gonna like?" There's so many questions about Pudding as we waited like week to week to like catch up to like see where Sanji is.
That's funny, honestly.
There was so much discussion about Pudding. I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Straw Hats that are not involved, Frankie, Robin, and Brooke, they're like trying to stop the samurai from making a loud entrance because they're like, oh no, they hate samurai here.
Yeah, and they're like, we're the adults of the crew. We have to make sure they don't come in.
Yeah, parents for sure.
And then they immediately all fall asleep.
Yeah, because they're old. They're tired.
Yeah. Well, okay. I understand for Frankie and Robin being tired, but Brooke.
Yeah, Brooke, what are you doing?
I guess he was being chased around by like the canine minks who want to eat his bones. But like, come on.
Yeah, but they fail. But it's okay. The rest of the Straw Hats are trying to like keep them all quiet, but they don't do a very good job because Kinemon shouts. Well,
the monkey guy.
Yeah, the monkey.
Oh, he sees them. Yes.
Yeah. He sees them, and then he was with them climbing back up on like a new drawing that that the guy made.
Yes.
Of a tiger.
The poor tiger.
Poor tiger, yeah. And then even before that they were like on a cat, but then when Zunisha washed themselves, like they washed away the cat also. Yeah. It's just taking forever. It's like the third time climbing up here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Climbing up the elephant's foot.
So the bell gets rung, and now
and then
like, oh
both
my god,
Cat Viper and Dogstorm both show up.
Yeah. Dogstorm.
And they start fighting each other, and Kinemon's like, "Why are you guys fighting?"
Yeah, why are you fighting? Stop it, please.
Yeah.
Cease this squabble is what my translation says.
Yeah, he has a very feudal way of speaking.
And he introduces himself, like exactly who he is, like his full title, and says that he's here in search of his compatriot Raizo.
Yeah.
And then apparently Raizo was actually there the whole time.
Yeah.
Minks are good liars.
Yeah, minks are good liars.
I kind of tear up at this moment thinking about it because like this whole time we thought that they were it's a good twist, right? It's a twist that recontextualizes what happened because originally we thought, oh, they're being punished by Jack and attacked with poison gas and killed for no reason. But now we understand, no, they're sacrificing themselves to protect this friend that they have.
Yeah, that's true. I liked it as well. I wasn't expecting it, I guess. They were gonna be like, oh, he's dead or something, but no, he's alive.
Yeah, and they have him tied up because they didn't want him to like come out and fight for them because they're like, no, we gotta sacrifice ourselves for you.
Yeah, we have to sacrifice for you, and
Yeah.
then it turns out that this cool cat and dog person are like really awesome. Like they traveled the world with Shanks and Goldie Roger.
Yeah, and Whitebeard for a
Yeah.
time
Yeah.
too, is what they say.
Yeah.
Like they've actually been around the world and they used to be best friends.
Yep.
And we also find out Momonosuke is not Kinemon's son.
Yeah.
No.
He is
No.
a prince.
All the lore.
Because we can't have
Prince
enough
of-
royalty here.
Yeah. He's the heir of Lord Odin.
Yes, of Odin.
Yep.
Yeah.
Odin is
Tasty.
Yeah. Odin is tasty. You're
Yeah.
right.
Who apparently
I wanna
died,
know.
and then after he died is why the Cat Viper and Dogstorm are fighting each other.
Yeah.
Which we don't have enough context of what happened. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know why. But
Yeah, Odin seems like a big deal, though.
yeah, he
Yeah.
does.
They're kind of making him adjacent to Gold Roger.
Well, pretty much
Yeah.
everyone who sailed with who has the old guard, sailed back during that era.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I'm talking about the dog and the cat lord.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they still.
That was all
yeah.
in one conversation, scene.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They were like all climbing the tree and they're talking about all
They
this
all
lore
just
at
know
the
all
same
these
time.
big shots.
Yeah.
It
And
feels like
also,
sometimes
we
it
find
feels
out
like all the
that-
big shots know each other.
Yeah.
They just do.
We found out that
yeah.
Odin also knew how to read the poneglyphs.
Yes.
And actually, Wano is where the poneglyphs were originally carved.
Yeah.
All the lore.
Yeah, and we find a red poneglyph, and
So
apparently
much lore.
you have to find 4 of them, and those are the ones that lead to the final island.
I remember being so annoyed when I read that.
It's a JRPG thing, man.
Yeah, I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they even
Yeah,
say like,
cool.
"Oh, we don't know where the last one is, but Kaido and Big Mom each have one, so go get
And
them."
then I'm like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah.
As if they
Yeah.
didn't already have enough reason to cross paths with them. It's like now we're giving you concrete. You cannot ignore them.
Yeah.
Yes.
They bring up a good point though. Like you don't actually have to see the poneglyph. You can just get a rubbing of it. You just need a copy.
Yeah. Yeah. And that
Yeah.
would be fine. I
Mhm.
think they introduced the Raizo, and he's like this small ninja dude.
Or he's big. He just has a big face.
Yeah, I guess
Looks
he's,
shady, but
yeah.
he's large.
very strangely proportionate. I can't really
No neck.
tell.
He is not. Yeah, he has like not what you think a ninja should look like at all.
Yeah. But I like that all the guys, like even Law, want him to do some cool ninja trick
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
I love they just Oda's like, all right, I'm about to bust out everything. Can you ask about
Yeah, everything a
All
ninja
like
could
the
do.
stereotypical ninja things, and then Rise is just like, "Stop putting your stereotypes on me!"
They're such
And then he does it
nerds.
anyway.
And then they all look disappointed, so he does it anyway.
Yeah.
He goes, "Me."
Yeah, it's
All these,
silly.
like, Don't have these stereotypes.
Raph told
That's
us
the
that one.
Naruto shadow.
Yeah.
Shadow
Yeah.
Jutsu.
And then after all of that lore dumping and big serious plot developments, and then
Yes.
the joke with the ninjas,
Yeah.
Mhm.
they
Well, it's also
what, they have
revealed
more,
Odin was put to death by Kaido.
Yeah. Right.
Oh,
and that
yeah.
Kaido is in Wano.
Yeah, and Kaido's in Wano.
And they also have Momonosuke there. Basically, Luffy won't help Momonosuke until Momonosuke asks for it, because he's like, if you're supposed to be the lord of these people, then you better actually own up
Mhm.
to it. Don't just be a figurehead,
Yeah,
you know?
it's very Luffy.
So Momonosuke actually asks him for help, and then Luffy's like, yeah, okay, we'll be friends then. And they form the Ninja Mink Pirate Samurai Alliance.
Woo! Yeah. And then there's only 3 chapters left.
Yeah.
And it's very small. Does the guy comes back, right? Or somebody
Yeah,
comes back.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Jack
Jack
comes
comes
back.
back. Jack comes back covered in a tire
And they're
track.
like, let's just take down the elephant. Heck this elephant.
Yeah, because he got beat
Yeah.
up trying to take Doflamingo back, and now he's like, oh shoot,
Yes.
I'm not gonna go back in empty-handed.
Yeah, so he comes back and he starts attacking the elephant, and the elephant starts screaming for help, or at least wants to be told he can help.
Yup.
Yeah.
And What do you know? The air of like Odin, and then also Luffy
'Cause
can
Luffy-
hear it.
He's got the. I don't. I thought maybe it's because he's got the D, but if Law has the D too and he couldn't hear it, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
they
I
did say
think
like
Monkey.
Roger
Obvious-
had
Monkey.
something
Obviously,
similar, apparently.
He's a
Yeah, it
fun-
has
he's a
something
fun
to do with
cat.
the just the connections with Gold Roger. Just oh man, it's so cool. Like I'm like such a sucker for it.
It's great.
Like when that started happening, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, oh, what is like Dragon even his real dad? I was like,
Well,
That's
it's
true.
like
Dragon doesn't look like
interesting.
him at all.
He doesn't.
Because like I remember it made me think back to like on Skypiea, like how I can't remember which character said it, but they were like, oh yeah, no, like Gold Roger couldn't read those. He just like knew what it
Yeah.
said somehow.
Yeah, Genfall said he could hear the voice of all things.
Yeah, and so like when Luffy reacted to Zunesha, I was just like, oh,
Oh,
Or no,
yeah.
Yeah.
Genfall said that he could like somehow read it, and then it was Rayleigh who said Roger could hear the voice of all things.
yes. Like he didn't
Yep.
know the language, he just understood somehow.
And Luffy also could hear something when the Sea Kings were going on too.
yeah, which is is that like, yeah, because that can mean like that could imply that the elephant was
You're
also
going
one.
merry. Like
Yeah.
And they all could be like going merry, right?
yeah, they all could,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. It's like the king of the pirates having a connection to like the oldest creatures in the sea. Like
Yeah.
maybe, it's like that's pretty cool. Like
Cool. Yeah.
Do we think Tanisha is one of the ancient weapons then?
Maybe. I
Luffy
don't
is.
remember.
he is 1,000 years old.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Well, wait, that means
Yeah.
he's older than the.
prophecy.
I think
I
that
think
means
he's
he's, like,
800 years old. I don't know if it was.
and he
Yeah,
was,
the Void Century was like
he
800.
was sent
so.
to Rome for forever because he committed a crime or something.
And we don't know, what
Yeah.
that was.
In my
And he
notes, I
can't-
wrote, "What did this
Yeah.
elephant do? Forgive him."
I'm gonna log it up. Like, hold on, I'm trying to find the link to his page on the wiki.
Yeah,
Forgive
no, you're
him.
right. I think it was 1,000 years old because the Void Center was 800 years ago. You're right. I had
Yeah.
mixed up.
Yeah. But,
But yeah, he needs orders to be able to attack because Jack is just like blasting at his knee.
yeah. So Odin does
Yeah.
give him the order.
Or
Yeah.
Momonosuke.
Momonosuke does. You're right.
same thing.
Sorry.
Same thing.
Sorry. I can't do names today. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Yeah, and then Jack, I love this. Jack gets fucked up.
Yeah, he just gets super fucked
Yeah.
up.
Yeah,
by the
Zanisha
elephant.
goes like, fuck you! and then just like blasts him.
Hawoo! Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good though. It's good because
Um,
the elephant defend itself.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to cut off, but I do need to head out.
Okay, thank you
I
very
hate
much.
to cut it. Yeah,
If you want to like say your rating real fast, you can, or you could just save it for later.
I like Bill more than Dressrosa.
Okay, cool. Sounds great.
That's my hot pick.
Thank you very much for joining.
I will say, I like the setup arcs, and this one was really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, I will talk to you guys later.
Okay.
I thank you for
I can't.
discussing.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah, thanks for
thank you.
joining.
Yeah.
I can't
Talk to
share
you
the
later.
wiki page for Zunesha. Y'all should
No.
not go look at Zunesha's
I
wiki
just
page.
avoid the wiki altogether.
Yeah, don't. But there's like a picture that I'm gonna put in your Discord trips of
Okay.
Zunesha. Like, you know how you can see that diagram of what like Diglets and like Doug Trios look like under the
Oh, I
dirt?
know the exact picture.
Yeah, there's a picture of Zunesha.
Yeah,
and
because
it's just
technically he's like not swimming, right? He's like standing
right. He's
on the
literally
ocean.
just walking across
Oh,
the ocean.
But that
Right,
means like
right.
his legs have to be pretty long.
That's true. He has the
Yeah.
longest legs ever, huh?
He
I
does.
didn't think about that.
There, I put it in the manga reader chat.
yeah, it's got to be like that, huh?
He's funky looking.
All right, cool.
He's a tall boy.
He's tall.
But yeah,
So it's
Jack
really-
is still alive though. Jack gets, even though he's a devil fruit user, he's also a fish man,
Yeah.
which is like, it doesn't say it, but you can see his sharp teeth, and you can see him like just still alive down
Because
there.
he's like wearing that mask thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like
But
it's
it gets
hard to
knocked
tell
off,
like
yeah.
what he is.
But yeah, it's like, it's weird because we haven't seen a fish man who's eaten a devil fruit before. So like devil fruits take away your ability to swim, but they don't
Mhm.
necessarily mean you drown.
Yeah.
Right.
You're
Because
right.
like
You can
fishmen
still
have
in the
gills.
water, you just can't swim.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting.
It's like almost like an oxymoron, like a fisherman who
So he's
can't
like,
swim.
someone come pull me out,
It is,
damn it.
yeah.
So he's just like just there.
Oh, and
like,
we also didn't mention that all the like pirates on Jack's side are also like really freaky. Like they have like a hand that turns into a wolf.
Yeah, they're very weird.
Oh, because of the
Yeah.
it-
Well, we
was
haven't
it-
said it why. We haven't said
I
why
thought it was
yet.
mentioned back on Punk Hazard.
Is it because of the freaky Zoan fruits that they're eating? I don't know. We'll see.
They haven't said it
We'll
yet.
see, maybe.
But they introduce like there's
know.
gifters and pleasures. They just call them that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. All
Oh.
right.
And some of them have like the black horns, and those are the dangerous ones with some
I'm
sort
like
of
trying to
animal
remember
power.
how they were even freaky looking. Like I don't remember.
Like there's a guy who has
You said a
like
wolf for a
sheep?
hand.
yeah, and there's a guy who has sheep horns for hands.
Oh wow.
Sheep's head.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Wow.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, he's defeated, which is good. People hold on for dear life, and I think basically everybody's okay. Like Peckham's is injured, but he was already injured, so who cares?
Yeah, and then Luffy kind of just kidnaps him, and he's like, "You're gonna help us get to Big Mom now."
Yeah. Yeah, and Nami gets a cool new wizard wand thing,
Yeah, a new climate attack.
a new climb attack, which is very cool.
Remind me again what chapter you guys stopped on? I'm checking reference.
823.
823.
Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't read
Yeah, so,
on
like-
because that's what it said.
Yeah,
Right.
right after we like leave, so basically.
Yeah.
I'm checking. Like it's like some stuff was definitely a reference. I'm just checking wiki pages to see like because they cite the chapters
Oh,
that
yeah, yeah,
certain
yeah.
pieces of information come up. So I'm like trying to check the exact boundary line.
Yeah. They.
I did. No, you're right. They do mention the fruit stuff because I think it's Kaido who says like, "Dang it! I like with all the factories, the Smile Factory gone that Dressrosa had. I can't make a like army of fruit users." that we
Yeah,
want
like I
to.
feel like I remember them like Caesar, someone mentioning on Punk Hazard like who their like and Doflamingo like who their clientele was
Right.
or whatever.
Yeah, they probably did. So ultimately, Sanji says that he's going to go to Whole Cake Island alone, but then Nami, Chopper, and Brooke are like, we're going with because we weren't there in Dressrosa.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The side.
Uh,
And then Cat Viper goes out to find Marco.
yeah.
Possibly he could help.
Yes. Yeah. He comes. Pedro. His name Pedro.
Pedro, yeah, coming along.
Yeah. Marco. Because Marco's the white-beard guy.
And yeah, the Phoenix.
Yeah, the cool Phoenix
And then,
powers.
yeah, the pineapple head Phoenix guy.
Yep.
Like, even Luffy is like, who? And then Robin says pineapple head. And he's like, oh.
Oh, yeah. He just knows.
Yeah. And Robin just, like, gets how Luffy's brain works.
Yep. She just gets it. That's probably why she
Yeah.
doesn't tell him things, because he's like, he'll
Yeah.
figure it out on his own time.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Oh, it's great. And then everybody, like, cheers them off. Like, they're heading, the rest of the crew are heading to Wano, right?
Mhm. Yeah. And some of them are staying on
Split
Zunisha.
party again.
Yeah. Like, Law and his group are going to Wano. And then, like, Momonosuke and Dogstorm are staying on Zunisha for a bit.
Yep. And Luffy just grabs everyone and jumps off the elephant. and Nami.
I love all their faces.
Nami's crying. So.
Yeah, and her hand is like outstretched, like, please help.
Pedro's just confused.
It's like, is this normal?
Yeah. And Brooke loses his soul.
Yeah.
See you in Wano. So they go. Oh, and they show Vivi. Oh, it's sad that Dawn's not here. Oh well.
Yeah, they were like,
Vivi.
Is this, had they already been doing this up to this point, or is this where they really just start dropping in like the shortest little briefest references to like other characters that we really like want to know what's going on?
I think that like chapter 823 is the first time that they did it. Because they dropped like they're going to a party thing, not a party. It's
Oh
not a
yeah, because I
party.
skimmed it at the beginning of
But
the
some of the
stream, and
characters
it's
are
like,
saying it's a
Vivi!
party.
Yeah, and y'all said it had been a long time since you'd seen Vivi.
Yeah, a long time
Yeah.
since Vivi. It was nice to see her.
Mm-hmm.
She's going.
Oh, well, There was that
Marito?
bit when they first showed up. Yep, Marijoa, I think is how they say it in the anime.
that is
Okay.
There was that bit like at the beginning of Zoe where we saw Burgess like escape and like radioed his buddies
Yeah, you're right.
and said like he found the Revolutionary Army's
Yes.
base.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
like so we're getting like these just tiny little like random asides and you're like, "Oh, that's probably really important." But then it like cuts back to Luffy and Co so
You're
quick
like,
that you're
wait,
like,
but
"All
what
right."
happened there?
You're like, "I guess we'll get back to that at some point."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they send Baltigo with
Just
the
got to try and
revolutionary
remember that
forces.
happened.
True.
And then Dragon's there, and then we don't even get to see like Dragon react to Luffy because
Mhm.
Koala's talking to him, and Koala's just like, "Oh, what about Luffy?" And then he's like, "Ah, yes, Sabo already told me all about him off screen."
Yeah, we're like, "Damn it."
Yeah. I know.
We never I feel like I never see as much of the revolutionaries as I want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the revolutionaries are apparently calling their like big bosses in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they're
Um.
making a move now.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, they're making a
Yep.
move. Everybody, all the kings are going to the reverie.
Oh yeah, the reverie is getting set up. That's why we saw Vivi.
Yeah, that's why.
And then
Vivi's
also
going.
Vivi is kind of lesbian coded. She's like, nah, throw all the suitors out. I don't want to marry a
I don't want to
guy.
marry them. And I like seeing
Yeah.
Karu. Karu's like low key my favorite, but he's hardly ever there. So.
Yeah.
My lesbian queen Nami.
Yeah. And there's like some lady named Lady Sally Isintonet, and there's like a lot
What?
of characters.
Isn't
Isintonet.
that? Yeah. Yeah, and then you see Shelly.
Shelly.
Oh
yeah.
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 Kind of.
Shelly.
He's become a
Shelly.
prince of the Goa kingdom.
Yeah. They don't
Yes.
show his face.
Sabo is like, yeah, adopted brother.
Yep.
Yeah, but you can tell it's him. He has
New
the
arc
same
means
stupid haircut.
lots of new characters.
Yeah.
That's true.
And we
Get
just
ready.
don't know how relevant most of them are.
Right.
Yeah.
They show
We had a short arc, back to long arc. Whole Cake Island is our next arc, and it is another long one.
It is a long one.
It's
Yeah.
They even show Wimpy Hoshi and how she doesn't want to go to the reverie, but she's gotta.
Yeah, to show
But
that
like I
the
said-
fishermen can trust, the fishermen and mermaids can trust the humans.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like I said, I think Oda learned his lesson from tackling a long, like big arc like Dressrosa. So I think like Whole Cake, even though it's also long, like it feels like it has tighter storytelling. So
I think it
hopefully
also
it's a
helps
more enjoyable
because,
read.
because Dressrosa also spent a lot of time with the like backstory of like multiple people in Doflamingo's crew, and also
think-
like added some battles with the gladiators. Whereas we don't have as much of that. We do get some backstories in
Yeah.
Whole Cake Island, but we don't have like, we split up the crew, but instead of replacing them with more new characters to like fill out the fighting roster.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Doflamingo had his like family,
Yeah.
and like Big Mom has
Mhm.
like her family. I mean, Pudding's the 35th daughter, and I mean,
Yeah.
like, so you
Yeah.
like you're and like as a Yonko, like an emperor, you know that like you're walking into another like big crew. Like we know that all the emperors except for like Shanks. Well, I guess
But
Blackbeard.
there's
doesn't
not
have
as
a crew
many
either.
like characters that are like friendly on our
Hmm.
side that we are being newly introduced to.
Yes.
Like how
very
we had like Aldrine, Bartolomeo,
Yeah.
Cavendish, and all of that.
There's not like a whole new like fleet's worth of characters.
Yeah.
for both sides.
There are more. I will say there are more characters in Whole Cake Island, but there's less important characters.
Oh,
I think.
okay.
Oh, is that like? Did you count?
I think that people have counted. I mean, there's like, okay, this is not even spoilers. There's like decouplets. Big Mom has like decuplet,
Oh yeah.
like children.
Oh god.
So yeah, there's like 10 of them. She has like, in order to have like 35 kids,
You gotta
there's a
have
lot of
one
them that are like twins and triplets.
She
Yeah.
got busy.
I know. Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
I
Imagine
don't
giving
even
birth
remember
to
if we like know
decouplets.
how old she
Terrifying.
is, like Big Mom is.
I think she's like in her 40s, 50s.
She ain't young, that's for sure.
Oh, and the last little bit at the end of chapter 823 is that Carrot snuck on
Oh yeah.
onto
Yeah,
the
Carrot's
house
awesome.
and Sunny. Yeah, she's very
Yeah.
cute.
She's very cute, and she's like, I brought all the supplies I need. I brought lunch, Carrot. I brought dinner, Carrot. And a snack, Carrot. And then
And
she's
just
like,
eats it.
"It's a big place.
And
I gotta
this
be
is where-
prepared to be here for a whole day." And
Yeah,
you're like,
a
you have
day.
no idea how big the sea is, indeed.
Yep.
Yeah. And yeah, the fact that she like snuck on was like so cute, and then it really kicked off that whole like, oh, like Carrot sneaking on, like where like how's
Yeah,
she gonna play
you
into
crew
this?
member.
Is she important? Yeah, like crew member. Like
Yeah. Ooh.
I do remember like there being so much debate like over whether or not people wanted Carrot to become a crew member because she like had the balls to like sneak onto the ship and stuff.
Mhm.
Maybe.
There were
I
Same
don't
very
with
strong
I
opinions
feel like
on
Keenan
both
Mon
sides.
too. Some people wanted Keenan Mon to be crew, but I feel like more people wanted
know.
Carrot because Carrot is cute.
Yeah.
Keenan
Carrot
It
is
Mon's
was
kind
a
of
yeah.
annoying.
cutest.
There was like a lot of like candidates like in the discussion and debate around like who like would be a
The next
potential
crew
crew
member would be
member, like who might get promoted to like legit Straw Hat.
I don't know.
Yeah. It's just something it's an interesting thing that like I remember a lot of us thinking about and discussing like week to week as we watched like all these characters and their dynamics with the Straw Hats and like, ooh, like like is this laying the groundwork for like long term
Yeah, you're totally
like
right.
crew head and stuff?
I
It's
get
fun to
it.
analyze. It'll be
Uh,
fun for you guys to analyze while you're reading the
That's
next arc.
true. Now, to wrap things up, we can give our star and slug rating of Zoe, I suppose. Um, I don't know. I went first last time, so who wants to go first?
I'll go because I barely remembered Zoe.
Okay.
Except for like some of the important lore. So like the important lore stuff still earns it a high rating. Like and it was like really just a lot of cute like and fun concepts and interesting characters brought in, and the setup was well done, especially for it being like a shorter arc. So I think enjoyment wise it was like an 8.5, and
Mhm.
then like and then structure wise I would give it like an 8 as well. I think Oda accomplished a lot in like the short time they spent on Zoe and getting to and from Zoe. So
Mhm.
Mhm. Okay, so I'll go next. I'll give it 7 stars. I enjoyed this
Ooh.
arc a lot, but I think overall I enjoyed Dressrosa more. That might just be a me thing. But yeah, there's a lot to enjoy in this arc. It's still a really good arc. But, I just think that I like Dressrosa better.
That's fair.
Mhm.
However, I think objectively this is like a 10 out of 10 arc. It's like the structure is so ingenious. It's after a super long arc. You get this like nice short condensed arc, but it's very efficient with its time. It still gets emotional beats. And it's also very creative that we have a like new structure to the story where the main Straw Hats like Luffy are coming in and we're seeing the like aftermath of the fight. Like all the action has already happened.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
like pretty brave to do. Usually you don't do that with a story. You show the story's like cool parts when the main characters arrive, not before they arrive. But it also expands the world a lot and deepens the mysteries of this world. We get introduced to so many concepts with like what's happening with the samurai, what's happening with Sanji, what's happening with Kaido, and a whole new culture of like the
Poneglyphs.
mates. Yeah, and the
Poneglyphs.
poneglyphs.
Yeah.
So I think objectively, I think this is a 10 out of 10 arc. It's very well done.
Mhm. Realm, do you want to go next?
Sure. I think while it was, I mean, I think it was a satisfying arc, but I will say that the full blown action met with immediate like rest and resting and sort of like lolling about what to do next. While it is very necessary, it always just makes me trip.
Mm.
Not to make a pun there, but it's just kind of like Enislavi, post Enislavi, Skypiea, and Long Ring, Long Land. Like it's never been easy to go from post action um to reprieve, but I thought it was like objectively I would say an 8 out of 10 because like you can't oh, like ever overestimate how important this information is, considering how far we are in, and they just decide to do a whole dump instead of us having to leer into like every word, every like syllable of what somebody says. So they're like,
Mhm.
yeah, here's a lot of things, and we're like, oh my god, write it down right now. Uh, subjectively, I would give it, I don't know, 7.5. It's good. I liked the elephant. It was a quick and short chapter. Nothing. It helped the pace certainly when you're going into just like the madness of a fight, but at the same time, those sort of things just feel like a full break, and that kind of like hurts my mojo when it comes to reading. So
Mhm.
not my favorite style, but very necessary for the story.
Fair enough. I feel like I'm the opposite though. Because for me, I really liked it. I like to have a small break in between being like, oh my god, everything is falling apart and we have to save the world. Oh my god. And
Yeah.
it's not even that long. It's just like, what, 20 chapters? 23 chapters? Just a small break to find out what the rest of the Straw Hats were doing was really nice for my personal pacing desires. I think it's like a maybe an 8. 8 might be a little high if once I read all of it, but I just liked it because I felt like Dressrosa's fights were a little confusing, and Zoe was so well constructed that I knew everything that was happening every single chapter. Yeah, and objectively, I don't know. I feel like it's probably a 9 out of 10 because I feel like everything that was presented was pretty important for the plot, and it's objectively well paced, like I said before. I think so, anyway. I think you could make that. I could make that argument.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just liked it. Honestly, I thought everything was good, and I liked all the furry animals.
I think Oh no, go ahead.
Oh no, it's okay. But I also I have a lot of, if I see something that's cute, I'm gonna like it a bit more anyway. So there's that too.
Yeah. I'm like thinking back to like contextualize like when these chapters were coming out week by week, and I think when they're like this reveal of there being like the 4 road poneglyphs was like the first time we as readers saw like a sign of the end game for
Yeah.
One Piece, I would say. Like I feel like I remember this being like a really big deal that we're like, oh, like we're actually like we're
We're going
seeing
there.
quantifiable steps to get to Laugh Tale now. Like it's not just the island at the end of the Grand Line. It's not just, you know, where One Piece is. Like it's not just like this elusive, like almost hypothetical destiny, like end destination where we're starting to see like the actual like steps that the Straw Hats are gonna have to take to get there, which means like Oda is actually like, you know, outlining like what's left between Zoe and the end.
Yeah.
Like and that was just like so like kind of mind-boggling to realize as like readers.
Yeah, it does feel like that. It's like you can see now. Like
We
what-
still
what
have
the
no idea
plans
how many
are.
chapters are between
No.
Zoe and the end. But just like
You can
seeing
see,
like where we are now and like now seeing like the end
you
sort
can see,
of
like, the
in a
skeleton
sense.
plan. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it was, you know, and then like because every time Oda was asked for like progress updates, his percentage mark with a road marker would like change. He'd be like, "Oh yeah, we're like 70%." It's like, "Well, we're actually more like 63%."
Oh,
It's like,
God.
"What?"
Oh, that would know. That's funny.
I don't
That's
remember
funny,
anymore what the
honestly.
latest one is, but yeah, like someone once said like, "Even the math ain't mathin', Oda."
The
Like,
math ain't mathin'. Yeah.
but yeah, so it's just kind of cool now to like kind of think about.
That's great. So yeah.
Yeah, the Zoe arc was only like 20 chapters or something, like 22 chapters.
Yeah. It was just nice for
Yeah.
It's like a
Nice
breather.
change of scenery, change of pace.
because yeah.
A
'cause, like,
breather with a lot of lore.
I I loved like the Marineford saga, whatever that was called. Actually, like it's great, but it's like so intense. I like something to be chill for just a couple chapters, just a couple, just like 5. I got 20, but that's all right.